Yeah, it really is, but that's a really long ban, so it makes me, like, really nervous. Because I really don't want to get permabanned again. Because that's why I made this second account. Alright, hold on. Let's do the, I think I prefer to use a pile of ash. Oh, that's so mean.
And I think I was safer with the mind flayers.
Oh!
Next time, just warn me before you do something stupid. At least then I can get out of the blast radius.
Oh,
Now, shall we
Ryan,
go?
that'd be so much
Do you have
better.
any other chaos you need to unleash here?
Cloud is right. I bet it's for Astarion. Oh, for like. Wait, what did Astarion say? I don't know. Oh, let's redo this. Thanks. All right, water of safety. Where are your pants? Oh! Bolderin's Giant Slayer. That's the name of my strap-on. That's so weird. Same.
We see plenty of each other already.
Not enough.
Tempting as
Strip.
it is to keep you all to yourself, it would be terrible company if we didn't mingle for at least part of the evening.
Yeah, Kazuo's the same. Boop. The snoot. Don't leave me hanging. That was so cute. I hope you guys know that while I do that, I'm like going like this before I change scenes. I hope you guys know. Or am I? Who knows? You'll never know until one day I forget to change scenes and you'll be like, what is she doing? So anyways, happy Monday. Happy Monday. Music Kid. First, cute as a button, not first, spades, still first in the heart. Cute as a button, mwah, Lexi, mwah, Salta Loki, mwah! Goddess Dahlia, mwah, Supernova, mwah, Space Station, mwah, Jello, mwah, English, mwah, Glue Gato, mwah, Moonbun, mwah, Leon Simones, Capricorn, mwah, oh, Jello, oh, thank you so much. And Marta, mwah, thank you for the forehead kissy. I know I just fed you dinner. I just fed you dinner. Are you gonna eat this? Oh, there's like fur on this from when they all fell on the floor. I'm sorry, I wouldn't eat this either. I'll give it to Boo. Really anything. Yeah, okay. Oh, now that Boo has one? So Jasper knocked these over on the floor, so that's why they have fur all over them. You don't want it? You want it in the bag? No. Eat it. Your brother's eating it. Why don't you want it? Why are you too good for these? You don't like pumpkin? Oh, I'm sorry. Pupkin? Oh, it's my hands. Okay. That was really rude. Rude as hell. Alright. I'm never giving Charlie a treat ever again. 8 carrots out of my hands just fine last night. You know, I bet if I had carrots, he would have liked it. He's such a diva. He really is. What's up, Capricorn? Dwayne. Mwah, nutmeg. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Thanks, Glue Kazoo. I got this from the Pokemon Center website. What's up, Dwayne? Hi, Loki. Hi, Spades. Don't tell me how quick I need to come. Oh, sure. Sorry, wrong scene. Come quick! Faster! I'm joking. If you start a stream in an hour, like normal time, those sweats would be like 2 hours early. That's true! You know what? I've had... Shabby has been like 2+ hours early before, too, so... I don't know. At this point, it's like, do I even have a stream schedule? It's like, a stream will start at the latest 7, but sometimes earlier. Because I know it's going to be a short stream today, I'm probably going to end shortly after the Gunner segment. Yikes! Because I have to do my taxes. Double yikes! So, Daddy! Mwah. Cool cat. Mwah. Think with the forehead kissy. What's up? Look at! Hi, Cincy Ewok. I just saw you over on, Livestream. What's up, Cool Cam? What's up, Chloe? Mwah. Think of the forehead kissy. I got 2 hours before work, so yippee! Oh, but L work. Are you third shift? What time is it for you, Dwayne? Chloe, thank you for the 55 stream streak. Thank you so much. I'm gonna catch that Spinda. I remember in the Hoenn region for when Spinda first came out, I would always try to find were there Spindas that had like little heart patterns? Always wanted them. Your puppies are so freaking cute. Thanks, I made them myself. Hi, Haku! Haku, happy Monday. Oh, okay, so you're East Star. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Third shift. What's up, Haku? Think of the forehead kissy. Kodiak, is it your birthday today? Did I see that was your birthday? And then, hold on. It is! Everybody say happy birthday! Everyone has to say happy birthday to Kodiak Attack right now. Happy birthday! I hope you're having the best birthday so far. Did you celebrate this past weekend? What'd you do? I want to stop by and say in case you were off after my birthday. Wait, Danny, it's your birthday today too, right? Hold on, I just closed it. Hold on. I know there's a couple Dannys. No, this is you. Double birthday! Everyone say happy birthday to Danny too. Double birthdays. Oh my gosh, wait, who else's birthday is it? Because it's also Faith's. We have a couple Faiths in the Twitch. Okay, it doesn't tell me what their username is though. Okay. So I'm not sure which Faith it is. But happy heckin' birthdays, guys. Happy heckin' birthday, guys. Double birthdays. That's so exciting. Cute as a button. Thank you for the 15 stream streak. Vanessa, thank you for the 3 stream streak. What the fudge? Thank you so much. It really means a lot. Also, YBZ. Mwah. Sunny Bun. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kisses. Vanessa, I do yours. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Mama J. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. What's up, Alice? Feels birthday, man. Oi, Shamoy. Birthday tweons. What emote is this? Oh my god. That is a dope emote. That's iconic. Oh, it's a hype train emote. Oh, that's cute. I don't know if I have that one. I do have it! Sorry, that emote was really dope. Lunch with your friends, hell yeah! Oh, I love that for you. Well, happy heckin' birthday, birthday twins. We're doing our Gunner sponsor segment today, but that will start around 7 p.m. Central Time, so in about 50 minutes. And then probably just do some DBD today because I really want to get those blood points. And it is like the last, 51, actually. You know what? You're right. I have nothing to say. It's just, you're right. You're right. Also, the game might lag a little bit. I'm so sorry. The stream might lag a little bit. I'm opening up my game. Nutmeg, thank you for the 65 stream streak. Holy shiitake mushrooms. Oh, speaking of shiitake mushrooms, remember how I was bitching the other day about how expensive fruit is? Guess who got me blackberries? It was my dad. My dad got me blackberries. He said that they were 50 cents. And because that they were 50 cents, I knew I had to wash them and put them in a container right away because if they're 50 cents, it means they're gonna get moldy. And there was only one moldy one when I was washing them last night. So hopefully none of these are moldy because I don't know. Like I know like people are gonna be like, oh, you're so picky, just like eat around them or like whatever. It's like no. I can't do mold. I'll eat cheese. I love brie cheese, which is really ironic, I know, but like I can't eat mold if it's on like bread or fruit or anything like that. But I'll eat brie cheese. Right? Is that weird? I love blackberries. Oh god, I'll fuck up blackberries so hard. But these are 2 little packs of blackberries. So shout out to Pixel Dad. Thanks for the blackberries. All right. Oof. Ooh, look at the size of this. Look, 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 look. What, the grade reset? What the hell? I don't know it's grade reset. Oh, it is the 13th today, isn't it? Well, well, well. Gaia, mwah. Think of the forehead kiss you. Would you like a DBD friend? I would absolutely love a DBD friend, though. Yes? Yeah. Yeah, because the gunner thing will take me like a minute to set up. I'm getting so old, that's alright. As long as you're not getting younger, right? Because I feel like that would just be like a case of Benjamin Button. Why is there something in my eye? Why is it every time I stream, there's something in my eyeball, but anytime I'm like going about my day-to-day, there's nothing ever in my eyeball. I do not, Kaya. There is the music channel in the Discord if anybody wants to share stuff. I don't really do song requests because it's not that I don't trust you, I don't trust people. And if I like let one person do it, then everybody does it, and then someone's gonna have me play one that has like a bunch of slurs in it, and then I get canceled, and there I go, so. And also I just don't do it. Do you have blackberry plants? Shut up. Did she really say that, Dwayne? I will even get rid of a container if I see mold on it. Yeah. It depends on the severity for me, but like, I'm really weird when it comes to mold. But brie, I'll eat. You know, it's so weird. Nom nomming. Think of the forehead kissy. Yeah, some molds are good. Like, is it penicillin of your eyeliner? Thanks. I really thought I like messed it up today. And so I added like the little fake like eyelashes on the bottom because I thought it made it like look better because I really didn't like it today. Ew, who put Ghostface on my screen? But thanks. That really means a lot. Because I was really self-conscious about my eyeliner today. Oh, really? You know what's funny? I've never seen Betty White in any show that she's ever done. Was it Golden Girls? Was she in anything else? I don't know. R.I.P. It's the 13th. In 2 days until tax day. Have I started my taxes? No, I was gonna start my taxes, and then I get a text from Xfinity saying, there's an outage in your area. And sure enough, all the streams that I was watching went down. So I was like, oh, okay. And so, I was just sitting and watching YouTube on my phone. Ooh, I have a 1.1 bonus. Awesome, boy. Mwah. Thank you for a kissy. Sorry, it's a wet kissy. Hey, did your taxes? I think you guys could say like I did it's puppy eyeliner. I think this one kind of goes up. This one kind of goes out. So I did a little bit of puppy eyeliner today. I did kind of speed run the game, didn't I? Look, look. 13 minutes in, she's got the game open. All right, someone call somebody. This isn't right. What the heck, you? I don't know. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm rushing. I don't know. But yeah, winged eyeliner's nice. That's why I really do eyeliner. That and because my eye shape and monolid aging problems make eyeliner super hard to like make look good without having to. Oh yeah, I've seen the TikToks of like Asian creators that they'll put the eyeliner over like their entire eyelid. And we're like, and it's like one of those trust the process ones because as soon as they open their eyes and they look on like straight on, it looks absolutely like perfect, like sleek eyeliner. But it's because of the monolid. I think that's so funny though. It's like a little magic trick. Oh, allergic reaction. Chloe, that sucks. And when you put an inch of eyeliner upper lid for it to be visible at all, right? Exactly. What's up, Lemon? I'm trying. I almost took my oh my god, guys, would this have been cringe? I almost made like a flexing going live post, but I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe next week or something. Oh, really, Goddess? What is that? Good evening down there. Thank you, Kaya. Kaya, thank you so much. I was really self-conscious about my makeup, so thank you. Maybe it was all the moisturizer that I put on today. I put on a shit ton of moisturizer too. Alice, mwah, think of the forehead kissy. Jesky, mwah, think of the forehead kissy. Yeah? Oh, okay, sorry. You started talking about kimchi, and now I want kimchi. Kimchi chic. Sorry, that blackberry in particular was so fucking good. Kimchi. Chic. Beauty. Why do you think I'd like this one? Whoa! Look at this! Look at this! Oh. Well, there's a drag queen right on the front page, so I mean, that's always nice. That's always a good sign. Holy shit. Oh, these are super cute! There's a little, like, bear. This reminds me of, like, the 90s. Hold on. I want to show you. It's, like, teddy bear palette. Does this not look like something from, like, Polly Pockets? Hold on. There you go. Does that look like something that you see from, like, Polly Pocket? It's like a little bear eyeshadow thing. Eyeshadow, like, palette. Oh, that one was sour. Oh, that was sour. Oh, that was sour. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so sour. Holy shit. Alright. Thank you for that. Whew. That was a really sour blackberry. Mr. Ware. Thank you for the forehead kissy. What's up, bunk dog? So I just watched my friends do it. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I feel weird dressing up myself. Oh my god, another tart one. Alright. Who wants to pick my G-Fill? You know what? Actually, I lied. I think I know what I wanted. I lied. I'm not answering you guys. Sorry. Sorry. I forgot that I had one that I wanted to do. Sorry. You guys can pick next time. Debated. I somehow have allergy to mold. What? How did you figure that one out? How are you, Miss Pickle? Oh, so I'm going grocery shopping with my dad tomorrow, and I'll be able to pick up some more stuff for Picklepalooza. I was planning on doing the Picklepalooza. What was it, last week or this weekend? But I couldn't get to a grocery store, so yeah, Picklepalooza 3.0. It's been on my board since my birthday. Finally doing it. Maya papaya. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Got here as quick as I could. Mr. Ware. Thank you for the forehead kissy. I always let my friend practice her makeup on me. Really? I love that. That's awesome. Do you have, like, a favorite look that you like doing? Hi, Panda Monster. Sorry, that glare was for YBZ, no one else. No you. Also, Lemon, I hope you're doing so good, homie. Panda Monster. Thank you for the forehead kissy. I found something interesting. Was is das. What is that? Ah, I got it! I got it. What's up, Jinx? Oh, should I ready up? Sorry. Ready! You can make edible barbecue sauce and mac and cheese, and while it tastes amazing, holy won't lay you on your ass. How does one make barbecue sauce mac and cheese? Wait! Into going content creation full time? Shut up, Jinx. Oh, wait. Oh, you know, I wanted to do a different build. Alright, we'll just stick with this build for now. I'm gonna put dramaturgy on instead of shrimp burst. Oh, that sucks, Lemon. I'm sorry to hear that. Boo! Jinx. Mwah. Nikki. Mwah. Think of the forehead kissy. Ew! Oh! Dandy, I'm so sorry to hear that. Hugs. Hugs for you and anybody who needs a hug right now. If you guys don't want the hug, guys can double and give a kid neck for a kid. Oh, shoot. Oh, and Spades, after this game, I'm gonna check to see if Gunner's ready. That was mostly for you guys to remind me, because I'm gonna forget. Hi, Moon Gourds! Moon, I was watching your stream. Was it yesterday? I don't remember. Ah! You were playing Overwatch, the shock of nobody. Guys, everybody go follow the homies. Everyone go follow Spade System, YBZ, Moon Quartz. Jasper's here, by the way. I just saw that fluffy fuck. Oh, there you are! He's so cute. Also, today's flavor of the day is Nuka Cherry. I'll change that in a second. Oh, thank you! You know, I was gonna do that. You're so hot for that. Oh, but you didn't. You omitted somebody. That's so weird. Oh, you know, let me fix that for you. Let me fix that for you, Spades. No, it's okay. It's okay. Sorry, Loki. Oh my god! Please, can you brag? Please, 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 Panda Monster. You lost 30 pounds since January? High five. That's awesome. I'm so proud of you. You absolutely should brag. Oh, really, Chloe? I am. Oh, I just realized. Ew, Overwatch? I know, that's what I said. That is exactly what I said when I'm joking. Oh, wait, I don't have to. Not shift. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. Take you, I'm so proud of you. Vicky! Vicky. Mwah. I'll be doing so good, homie. Mooncourts, mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Also, Mooncourts, thank you for the 30 million stream streak. Almost said the wrong number. You like it in tea? Wait, what do you like? Honey? Myers. You know what? I was gonna guess it was a scary boy. Oh, this is Spades. No! 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 Oh, what's up? Is it, Starzy? Hope I said that right. Hello? Honey and infused tea. You had me at honey. I love tea. I've been drinking a lot of green tea recently. I did get some green tea and some black tea, like, alright. No, all of you tea gamers, don't come for me. But, I've been drinking, like, I got, like, little K-cups of them. They were on sale. And 25% off, so it was 25% off the sale price. Okay, are there any gens in this game? Stop that! Oh, look at you and your fancy moves, bitch. Oh, Delvilka! Well, welcome back. Congrats on the name change. Last couple years were not great, and depression hit hard, so I'm trying to undo. Oh my god, mood. Me for the last 33 years. I'm joking, but I'm proud of you. Walking pad! Ugh. Gamer. I do love the walking pads. I was gonna go with my walking pad yesterday, but I didn't. I did like my little stair stepper thing instead. Oh, well, happy early birthday, Starzy. Happy early birthday. Everyone say happy early birthday to Starzy. It's their birthday tomorrow. Hello, 11. Rummy bum. Thank you. Is it from TikTok? Oh no, it's this. I think I actually bought it before TikTok was even a thing. It's this stationary like plastic stepper. Like think an exercise version of a squatty potty. An exercise version of a squatty potty, I guess is what you would call it, right? Because you just step on it. It's not like a mechanical stepper. God, I wish. I want one of those, you know? Okay, are there no gens in this entire game? Like, not a single generator? I've seen, what, 4 or 5 blood gens? But not a single gen. 11, you better be taking us to a gen. Oh, yay! Yippee! I found one. We're all good. Oh, Leon. Ooh, I'm gonna sandbag him for you. Happy early birthday. Stars, you gonna do anything special for your birthday? I want one of those. I have seen them on TikTok though. The little like steppers, and you don't do anything. You just like, or not don't do anything. It's just like you don't like move. You just like step with it. I've seen those before, but mine's just like a plastic thing, and you can have you can add like little. Oh, you know, it's like a Lego, like a giant Lego thing too. You know. Because you can put like little like Lego parts on the bottom to make it bigger and taller. So you can make the steps higher. You know what I mean? Really? That's a good thing, right? The burn means it's working. Little God! Mwah. Think of the forehead kissy. no way, Jinx! Jinx, I'm so happy for you. I'm gonna open up Twitch on my phone so I can catch up on chat, because I feel like I'm falling behind on chat again. Oh! I did the gen. Yep, yep! That's me doing so much work. You're welcome. Alright. Okay, that got done, and that got done. Oh, another one. Yippee! Dangos! Dangos. Mwah. They go the forehead kissy. Oh, that's fair, Panda Monster. Yeah, so walking pad's a lot easier because there's really, like, no pain, right? Ah! Why do I always run where there's no fudging pallets? I swear to God. I don't understand. There's literally never a pallet. Like, I ran from a pallet to where I knew a pallet was, and now there's no pallet. What is happening? Like, literally, I can't. Whenever I don't run when... I'm gonna put windows on. I'm putting windows on. Can I eat the gens, please? Ugh, can I like, get to a gen? That's all I want. I did do a gen. You know what? I'll take it. I'll gladly take it. All right, let me catch up on chat. Most of my weight is my tummy, so I'm getting a weighted hula hoop. Oh, I've seen those. Ozzy Osbourne, patient number 9 vinyl. Ooh, I've seen how vinyls have been made, and I think that's like such a cool process. Avoiding things that you're allergic to is a good plan. Oh, they're mine for snacks. Yeah. Would you like that? Oh, Lance Modes! I would love to have you. Absolutely. I'm gonna yap for a little bit and probably get ready for Gunner after this game, if you don't mind waiting a little bit. I'm sorry if I missed anyone's messages, by the way. Oh. Hairy man thighs. Oh, are you talking about are you talking about Ace? Hi, Pumpkin! Canary. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Oh, shit. Well, I'm gonna heal. Okay. Pumpkin! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. This person's gonna get really mad because I'm saving this person first. Like, watch 11 and Gray Lazith be mad at me for saving this person first, but it's like, they were closer. What was I supposed to do? Run away, you know? You know what I mean? What was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to do? You know what I mean? You didn't go to second stage, you're fine. I just know someone's getting mad. Exactly. But what was it? That one person that came in and gifted us 5 subs? They were mad because, like, I didn't save them or something. Look, and everybody got unhooked. Look at Pixel. Oh, we gotta go, homie. Nice. 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 Oh, you know what? I have a map. Why am I worried about pallets when I when I have a map? Ah, poop. Oh my god, that scared the hellions out of me. Alright, I'm staying here forever, just so you guys know. Oh, I'm dead. No! 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 I had it! I had the prompt and didn't give it! That's alright. Oh my god, that was so funny. That's alright. I'll take it. I'll take it. I did 1 gen. I'll take it. Pixel the Savior. Yo, you know what? I got 3! I did get 3 safe unhooks. So you know what? I'll take it. Can I have a recording of your screen and use it as my morning alarm? Wait, what do you mean? Oh my gosh. I must know. Oh! You had a 69-inch BB? So that is our POTD, aka the penis of the day. Can anybody beat Canary's PP? Magic PP. Also, both Midnight and Jasper are here. Alright. It's 6:30. Oh no, I died. Oh no. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I do have anonymous follows on, but I see you, and I appreciate you. Alright. I am going to swim. No, actually, I'm not going to yet. But remember when I start the Gunner segment, I don't hear any alerts, so. I know. Is Gunner like Bloody Mary? If we say their name 3 times, he'll appear. Gunner Optics. Gunner Optics. Gunner Optics. No dice. It's alright. It's a half hour early, so. But no. Gunner's like me when it comes to me streaming. Like, so I say my streams start at 7. And I start streaming at like, what, 6 p.m.? 6:30? 6:15? But I never go later than 7. But Gunner will sometimes be here late and sometimes will be here early, so you never know with them. You never know. Oh, my scream! You can use any of my screams you want. 50 inches, mazel tov. Spin in a circle? Wait, is that a Bloody Mary thing? Also, I changed my mic audio a little bit. Let me know if it's better, the same, or worse. Oh yeah, I got this on sale from Amazon. So it's nice because it has like it's all holes in here. So instead of like all this water from me washing the blackberries sitting on the fruit and the fruit getting wet, or me like using paper towels to dry them, like they stay like nice and wet, nice and moist. They have like this little enhanced carbon system. Nice holes, thank you. I've never had any complaints. Carbon thing, and they have this thing, and you can have it to where it breathes or no breathe. Breathe? No breathe. I don't know. It was like 75% off, and so I got it for like $3. It's usually like 15. But yeah, these are blackberries. So I was just bitching about how expensive fruit is. A little packet of blackberries at Amazon Fresh is like $1.99, $2.99. And my dad got me 2 little packets of blackberries for 50 cents. 50 cents. So because they were 50 cents each, I had to wash them right away. Because 50 cents each, those things are gonna be moldy soon. So I'm trying to eat them as fast as I can. Also, I don't know if you've tried to join. I did not have the stream up, or the game up, so. Sorry, Winchester. Sweetie! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kiss. What's up? Yep. Raspberries are your favorite? See, I'll sometimes find raspberries on a good deal, but I prefer blackberries. You're joking. Sweetie, I'm so sorry. Sweetie, hugs. Hugs for you. Unless you guys don't want the hug, guys, and don't get to the next person. Also, Kadiri! Thank you so much for the 5 stream streak. Hello, lovely. Hello, Buffett Top. Yeah, that's my question too. It's like I know that someone was like hooked further, but yeah, if that person, I just know. DBD community don't make sense, right? I like how I'm like making up these scenarios of people that are gonna like start hating me for when they haven't actually hated me yet, but. It's things that people have gotten upset about before that make me go like, ugh, you're gonna be mad at me, isn't it? I don't know. That's what I was told when I was a kid. Wait, what did you get told, Spades? Because I said a lot of things. Oh, the Bloody Mary thing. Okay, I was like, phew. Thought you were referencing something else. Yeah, I'm a big strawberry and blackberry. Those are my favorite berries. Also bananas, because allegedly bananas are a berry. Give treats! Here you go, kitty kids. This is from Sweetie, so you have to say, meow, thank you, Sweetie. Oh, good boy. It's a close third. I think raspberry would be top 5, right? Like I said, I don't really have a lot of berries. There's not really a lot of berries in there. I love avocados. Free shavakadu. God, I love avocados. I know that's not a berry, but I've been eating a lot of avocados. I eat a minimum of half an avocado a day. You can't tell I love it here at all. Canaries. Comment. Charlie's like treats. Yeah, I gave him a little kitty one. Oh, I hate blueberries. I hate them. I hate them. They're so tart. Yeah, they're so 50-50. It's like, I'll eat them if they're there, and if I'm like, ugh, whatever. But I can't stand I can't stand blueberries. Oh, you know what? Let me change my got D. Oh, any more penis of the day? Any more penis of the day attempts? Blueberries are really good in muffins? That's don't ruin muffins with blueberries. I don't know, I'm not a blueberry enjoyer. They're too tart. Pixels, G feel the day is Nuka Cherry. Yum! That was weird. Feeling very weird today. Like, not bad, but just like, yeah, just feeling very, you know what I mean? 14, it looks like 69 is in the lead. 63 is pretty close. Is it? Maybe it's because, like, the weather's super duper nice. It was like 80 degrees today. Oh, go for it, look at, yeah. There's no limit to how many peepees you guys could try to have. What? Ugh. Does anyone else feel off today? It's okay if you don't. It's okay if you do. I'm just curious, does anyone feel off today? Oh, 6 it, you're 1 inch away from the penis of the day, or tying with the penis of the day. Yeah? Yeah, I just feel, but hey, Mazel Tov on the 68. Happy birthday! Is it Sadie's birthday? Is it Sadie's? Oh, no way! So we have 2 penis of the day enjoyers. We have Sweetie and Canary. What's up, Blakers? Blakers, I was just thinking about you. I hope you're doing so good, homie. Really? But I have been feeling off all day. Well, tell that friend to. But, like, specifically, magic peepees together. And that is a pretty good peepee to have, you know. I totally was! I hope you're doing so good, Blakers. Too funny. Love the shirt. Thank you. I got it from Pokemon Center for the 30th anniversary collection that they did. Sorry, I'm just kind of, like, wasting time right now. Just working. Ugh. Working hard or hardly working. Oh, you know what? Let me change my build really quickly. Did I miss anybody's messages? I probably did. I'm so sorry. If I missed anyone's message, I'm so sorry. But happy birthday to Sadie! That's awesome. Jordan. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Yeah, it's just efficient. Ugh, Blakers, and you have been working hard. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for Lurky Turkey. You missed your kissy? Oh, you're sick. I shouldn't kiss you. I'm joking. All right, I want to... Well, I guess we'll play as Ace, because he's, like, the only character I think I have cakes on. But, I just gotta do a different build. All right, let's just go off. Take everything off. All right. I'm gonna do head on. I'm gonna do 5 moves ahead, too, because that one helps with payetas, right? What's up, Jordan? Jordan, happy Monday. Hey! I'm so glad, Flakers. I love that you love that emo. I love that so much. Oh, okay. I like that. All right. More kisses for you. We love head in these part. Oh, and bolts too, right? That's true. Flakers, yeah. I haven't really been doing any, like, collabbies. I probably won't be doing any, like, collabs, like, with voices anytime soon. But, like, I'm playing with Leon's Moans and Spades right now. We're just chilling. Just casual. You don't use... Oh, that's good. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm down. It sounds such a vibe. Ghost. I had to listen for a second. I wasn't sure what it was. It's too much for me. Same. Same. Oh! Villain Fixation. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. Welcome in! I had to take my fingers. I like how you have the clown. I love that you have the clown emote. That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Welcome in, Raiders. How was your stream? Were you playing DBD? Were you playing clown? That is so funny. We're here to take your fingers. It's so funny. Remember, there's like 1 week, like 3 years ago, where I thought I was going to be a clown main. And then I had like a couple games where I was like pretty decent at clown, and then my MMR raised, and I was like, oh, I'm not good at clown, so I stopped playing him. Oh, I see. Are you talking about Jasper? Minecraft! No way! Is this your first time doing Village, or have you played Village before and you're going back to it? I still need to do the Village DLC. I don't even know if I have that one. Oh, really? Okay, so you use 5 moves ahead all the time. My first Resident Evil. Shut up! Oh, I hope you're loving it. How far into it are you? Oh man, there was a build that I wanted to do. Didn't become clown main, too good at clown. Yeah, okay. Oh, Dingoes, I think you asked me how my day was, and I ignored you. I'm okay. I'm okay. It's been a weird day. I had, like, the slightest bit of a panic attack earlier, but it was only because I was out walking my dogs, and, you know, I was outside, and agoraphobic, so... That sucked, but besides that... Alright. My resin tripod is off, annoying my father. Oh! I was like, what? Tripod. The cat! What's your cat's name again? I remember. It's like... It was really cool. It's like Serenity or something. It's something cool. Because he is her second favorite person. Shut up. Solstice! I was close. Not really. There's an S. Rex! Rex. Mwah. They go with the forehead kissy. Have a good night, Angel. What's up, Celestial Night Cat? Meow meow. Meow meow. Oh my gosh. Did you just get partner, or am I stupid? And you've had a partner for like ever. Or did you just get partner? You were close to my heart. But everyone go follow Villain Fixation. Not too far, only just in the castle. Oh, cool! Escape Heisenberg. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Oh, God. You're gonna love the game. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not spoiling it for you. But I hope you continue playing it and enjoying it. But Villain Fixation, thank you so much for the raid. Please go get your post-stream self-care, get your post-stream stretchies, bathroom breaks, namis, and bevies. Go eat a big fuka, stretch your drink. We're playing DBD today. We're about to start our sponsored Gunner segment in a couple of minutes, but I'm just kind of like yipping and yapping right now. Shut up! Did you really? Okay, so I was like, I couldn't remember if you had partner or not. Shut up. You were just finished your onboarding 5 minutes ago. Congratulations. That's awesome. Congrats on partner. That's so dope. So you just got it today. 4/13. That's awesome. Hell yeah, Celestial Nightcat. That is so dope. Can we get some meows in chat for Celestial Nightcat? Please go raid and run Villain. Thank you so much for the raid. That is so sweet of you. Hi, Panda! Panda. Cute streamer? That's you guys. That's you guys. Like, shout out this guys to all my streamer friends. I'm so proud of you. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Congrats on partner! Oh, do you want a cat? Here. I'm gonna get Midnight. Because who doesn't like a black cat? Hello, this is Midnight. She says, congrats on partner. Mwah! Okay. She did not like that. You're not like that at all. I'm sorry, Muffet. I'm sorry, Muffet. So anyways. Because in the first, like, sure, bro, I'll run past something. Yeah, exactly. And then the person on Hook is like, hey! Collect Pokemon pandas too. I do. There are quite a few pandas. A lot of not cat. I guess cats and kittens, right? Pandas. What else do we have? Faiths, Danny's. Only one Leon's Moans though. Like, why me? Well, I could have gotten Jasper. Oi. But congrats on partner. That's so dope. Oh, you're gonna love it. I'm at Kikuni, technically. That's like a... That's not a Tanuki, is it? What's a Kitsune? Isn't it like a... Like Ari is and from League of Legends? I gotta make this build! Oh, man. Nine-tailed fox. So not Ari, but kind of like Ari. Nine-tailed fox. Okay, so isn't there like a... What's that one anime? I don't remember. I don't watch anime. Oh, I'm so bad. Lulu! Mwah. Think of the forehead kissy. No, April is autism. April is Autism Awareness Month. Yeah. Ari. Oh, she is! Look at me knowing things. Never played it once. Never played League of Legends once. I'm gonna play a raid trailer for you guys really quickly, and then I will be right back.
Don't look at my goddamn shade.
Merry Crisis. Merry Crisis.
It went everywhere! Why is the music like this?
I can't stop looking at my cleavage. I'm sorry.
Pixel! Pixel!
It squirts in your mouth, not in your hands.
By the way, it's Pixel. It's not really Bob Ross. It's me. It's Pixel. My mouth tastes like barf and stink bug. Who wants a lick?
Oh, I see. Got a me. All right, let me change my audio over. And Spades and Leanne's Moans. I think I have a build ready. I think. All right, I'm gonna change my audio over just in case Gunner comes in while we're in game. So I'm not gonna be able to hear anything. I can't hear any alerts anymore. And then let me change the stream title over to Gunner. Okay. Damn, long ass stream title. Holy. Alright. Did you know I love you? Are we gonna make out? Do you wanna kiss? Do you wanna make out? Oh. Why didn't I do this? Guys, go be one of Celestial Nightcat's first follows after partner. I got excited there's a Leon's Moans. There was a Leon in our game, but then I realized that was just Leon's Moans. Still excited, by the way. Still excited. Do I want head on? I don't know, head on could be funny, right? I'm gonna keep head on. Oh, I'm gonna keep head. Are we done? You're disappointed by Leanne's Moans. I've never been disappointed by Leanne's Moans ever. Both the person and the actual thing of Leanne's Moans. It's weird for my first mention in chat today to say, technically a kitsune only has one tail creation. It gains a tail every 100 years. Really? That's pretty dope. So, are they immortal? Also, hi, Crypt! Crypt, I hope you're doing amazing. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I had an okay weekend. My weekend was better than my week last week, so, you know, I'll take it. Because Saturday was pretty good, right? Crows? Eerie? Guys, all I want to do is just eat blackberries. Do you guys mind if I just... That's all I do is just eat some blackberries. They are yokai, so I guess... What does that mean? Legion! Let's do a check. No ruin. Oh, it's a ghost face! I said Legion. Clearly I said ghost face. Clearly. I don't know, my knowledge of mythology ends with Greek. Oh, dope! Legion looks kind of different. It's a pretty, new outfit. It's a new outfit for Legion. It's a new fixes. Oh, speaking of new outfits, weren't there new outfits? Shut up, that's my DBD Eerie creator. I'm gonna ban you. Blood flavor? Whoa! Well, that's convenient. Guys, what do you suppose that is? Hi, Irish Queen! Irish Queen, happy Monday. Oh, man. What a day. Oh, bye-bye, blood flavor. Ah! Okay. Wait! Okay. She's not stalked anymore, which means I can get this save. Ah! Run! Who's meowing? Jasper! Jasper! Sorry, Jasper was biting midnight. Well, I'm gonna take this opportunity to run, actually. Yo, I didn't like that. Wait, me yelling at Jasper? Or me running right into the killer? That's sure so. Thank you! I got it for the Pokemon Center for the 30th anniversary. I did. I caught my Friday. Oh, hell yeah! Don't mind me, just healing. So what are you gonna do for your weekend? I have, if I had a nickel for every time I've run right into the killer, I would be able to. There's no way Megan. There's no way Megan brought the killer right to me. Are you fucking kidding me? I was as far away as I could have been. Literally as far away from the killer as I could have been. And Meg brings, if she has bond, I am reporting her. On God. On God. Mark! Think of the forehead kissy. That's right. That's right, Megan. I will remember this. I'll remember this. If she has bond, I swear to God. Because there's no way I'm that unlucky. There's no way that I run purposely from that side of the map to here to heal. I'm just fuming. Sorry. Also, Mark. Think of the forehead kissy. Kaya, think of the 45 streak. Because she bullied the husky to try to eat her food. My cats, all three of them actually, but specifically Midnight and Jasper, have been starting to eat a lot of the dog's like leftover kibble. Oh God, you scared the French toast sticks out of me. Well, let me use the rest of my med kit on you because I can't get a heal now. I get one. I get one. I get one. I get one, and that's the one I chose. I get one. Let's see if she has bond. She does not have bond. You get away this time, Megan. I get one. I get one DC a day. And I haven't DC'd in weeks. They're just my fingers. You can snip it. You can't have it. You can snip it. You can't have it, though. Okay. We're eating blackberries. You want some? This one has a leaf on it. Isn't that kind of cool? Give treats. Cat or dog? Accident use of DC. I just thought it was funny. Also, the Ghostface is a streamer. They have, like, Twitch in their name. So you know what? It's content for them. It's content for them. Oh, did I say the T word? Jasper always looks like she needs food. And by food, I mean... I gotta stop saying the T word. Go away. No. No. Jasper, come here. Jasper, come here. Oop, oop, oop. I'm not toxic. Oh, wait. Excuse me. Ooh. I gave Jasper some cheese yesterday. Mark, do your thing. What Pokemon was it? Jasper's clearly starving. As he wakes me up every morning. Actually, it's Balthazar. Balthazar is the one that wakes me up every morning demanding wet food. Because I made the mistake of starting to feed them wet food when I first woke up. And so now, as soon as I wake up, there's Balthazar screaming in my ear. Oh, Espeon, cute! Hey, Espeon's dope. Stretch, I got you. Oh, wait! Speaking of Pokemon, look at the Pokemon card that my brother got for me. Look at it. Because he knows, he went to a card show with his wife. And he knows that I'm too broke to get Pokemon cards. And I can't leave my house, so I can't even, like, go and get them. So he knows that Clefable's my favorite Pokemon, and he got me this Mega Clefable card. It's so cute. Yeah, I thought that was really nice. It's like he went to a card show and got that for me. I like Vaporeon or Flareon. It depends on the day, but I love that emote. That is so cute. Really, Panda? Oh, I love blackberries. That's so cute. Almost as cute as you are. Alright, let's do a stretchy. Oh. Hi, Jasper. Here. Here. Entertain. Entertain. Oh, this is so nice. Whenever I'm walking the dogs, and like the dogs are busy like sniffing stuff, I like stretch my calves on the curb. Do you like Clefairy? Yeah. Clefable, Clefairy, they're all my favorites. Yeah. You get Flareon too? And those are your emotes, right? They're so cute. Did you make those emotes or did you commission them? Because they're really good emotes. Do I have blackberries in my teeth? No, we're okay. Starting... Oh, well, that's embarrassing. Hopefully it started in a second. All right. Everyone say, hi, Gunner. We are officially live with Gunner Optics for the next 2 hours. 2 hours of Pixel on all of Gunner's socials. Yippee! I got those for free. Well, really? Those are dope. Oh! Shut up! Apparently, this is my 100th Gunner Live. We actually might be coming up with my year with Gunner streaming, too. Did you guys hear that? Whoa! No, get down. Get down. Get down. Without knocking over my web. All right, hold on. Jasper, upstairs. No. No. Upstairs. Go. No. Go. 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 Oh my god. If he broke my Wise camera, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed. Where even did it go? Oh. I'm gonna be, like, on God, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed if he broke this. Hold on, 1 second. Zerbs has me. Or J-Bug's coming. Both of them! We might have to run. Oh! Let's go! I take the hit, W. But she might, okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna run right to the boon. Methinks. Okay, she hits the gen, I do have Roselle. Ah, no, we gotta go. So anyways, does anybody want a cat? Oh my god. Oh, let me pull up my Wise camera. It's lit up. I'm be so pissed. Because he literally just knocked over a bunch of shit Saturday, too. Okay. Hey, okay. It's working. Alright. Well, everyone say hi, Gunner. Sorry, my cat's an asshole. Alright. For you, my son. Oh, look at this doggy! This is so cute. Oh, and this is Cherum! Oh, it's so cute. I love him. Alright. Well, now that I'm pissed, like, now it's hot. So, like, hold on. I'm gonna turn my fan on. Because I'm just, like, annoyed. Alright. It's, like, 80 degrees out. I like Gunner. Chevy! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Well, chat, I depipped again. Did you? Music and no. Oh, okay. I thought it looked familiar. Okay, Bolt. I never saw that movie. Alright. So, we are starting our sponsor segment with Gunner. And Gunner has some new glasses, if you guys want to see. If you guys want to see. Did I request them? Nope. I keep meaning to, but I don't know. I feel weird asking for free shit, you know? I know it would help, like, show them off, but here we are. There we are. Alright. So, where are the new gunners? Aha! The new Cyberpunk glasses. There they are. They're so cool. So, Spades has the Barons. The Barons. Yeah. Where's my music? Hello? God? Oh, there it is again. I'm so glad it's going to be a short stream today. Oh, man. So, we got Amber Max, Sunnies, and a regular. I wonder if they come just those three, right? Makes sense if it was just those three. Yeah, cool. I don't know if these come in prescription. Do they only ship in the US? No! They ship everywhere. There are other location, like there are other, like there's a Canadian warehouse, there's a US warehouse. I think there's another warehouse in the EU, I can't recall. And if you shop through those websites, the shipping will be cheaper. I don't think you can do prescriptions with these. Because it's something to do with, like, the curvature of this, I think. Don't quote me on that. Yeah! They do ship to the UK, yeah, for sure. For sure. Also, Steph, think of the forehead kissy. Yeah, pretty much all of them are prescription, but I think this one specifically, I don't think you could do prescription. Don't quote me on that, though. Because, like, these are prescription. I mean, no. All the ones that you guys see me wear on stream are prescription. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, that fan feels so nice. These are really sick. Okay, cool. So that has to be the three warehouses, then, I'm thinking. Ilo's only for his full power. Really? On the wait, in the building? Chloe, that's so funny. Steph, I hope you're doing so good. Happy Monday. Oh, the sunnies look so dope. Look at these. Look at how dope those look. Damn. Those look sick. Let's go back to the Amber Max. Oh. Very cool. So these are Cyberpunk. I never played Cyberpunk. But allegedly this is Cyberpunk Dex. If you guys know who Dex is. I don't know. Never played Cyberpunk. So. But I don't know if they're okay. They have the 20% off the prescription sale. Is the mystery box sale still up? Mystery box sale is still there. So that's pretty cool. And what, these were in June. Pre-order for June. And then the Lucky 38s and the Brotherhoods of Steel. When are you guys coming? Lucky 38 is May. And Brotherhood of Steel are both May. So May and June. Summer! Big month. Big month for summer. Jesus is the reason I... Oh, did Spades of the Ends anyone say anything at the end game because I left? I cling to... Maybe we should put Bond on. I don't know, I liked Alert. I don't know. I don't know. Bum, 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 bum. I feel like looking for Hatch. Oh, really? Oh, that's funny. Oh! Never mind, Leon's Mounds. Never mind. That's so funny, Chloe. Chloe, were you able to clip that? Oh, I have to be careful when I say that because Twitch does the automatically clipping thing. Oh. You never know, right? Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Happy Monday. Did you guys have a good weekend? Why is it still on my playlist? Not like I hate the song. I'm just not good. I'm kind of over it. Need to run. Sooner you can join the fun. Motor coil will disappear. Oh, there we go. That's better. Work Saturday, rested Sunday. Good. Good. Good for you. It's so hot today. I'm gonna try to, like, go as long as I can without putting on the AC, though, because your coil is broke. I'm gonna save the AC for, like, hot days. It's just so humid this week, because all it is doing is that it's raining, and then hot. Raining hot. Raining hot. Chloe, let's get humid! Stop that! That's so funny. Let's get humid! That's so funny. Oh, so, you guys gifted me Pocopia from Throne, right? I still need a Switch 2, but Throne had to cancel the order for Pocopia, but they put the money in my account, so I'm just gonna get, like, Pocopia from somewhere else. I think Pokemon Center actually has it. But, what was that? What was that? James? Oh, okay. That's Leon, not James, sorry. I was quoting a TikTok. But, I still, whenever I get that from the, oh, thank you. I'll just have it, I don't know, sit on, like, a shrine for the Switch 2. Oh, is it? Yeah, it was Amazon. Oh, really? Yeah, they just straight out, like, canceled it. They just said, we can't do your order. Woo! Oh, he definitely saw that. What? I'm not leaving. Oh, wow. I guess it makes sense. I did see it on the Pokemon Center website today. That was available. I'm afraid to leave because, you know, as soon as I get out of this locker, guess who's going to come right in front of me, you know? I know that Tyrant is huge, right? I know, I mean, I know it's Wesker, but I don't know. All the way over there. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. It could be a couple things. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. You saw that, right? Yeah, I definitely saw that now. Ah, oh, dang. Good job, Albert. Whoa! I didn't mean to get stuck there. That's fine. Meow. I'm just playing with the usual crew right now. No open lobbies today. Sorry, guys. I'll put in the title if I'm doing open lobbies though. He has the POTD. No, that's you. Don't be humble. That's you. That's you and Sweetie. I don't know when I'll do open lobbies next. I'm not sure. But today's gonna be a short stream, so I don't think it'd be worth it for you guys. And I try not to do open lobbies when I do my sponsor segments. I typically also don't like to play with people when I do my sponsor segments because I feel badly when I have to, like, sit here and yap. And then they just have to sit here and watch me yap, but as long as they don't mind. I'm sure this game, me too. Me too. Me too as well. Why are we protecting Hook? What did I do? I didn't even head on him. But I will. Oh my god. So Boo just hit my chair. Or bumped my chair. I didn't know he got out of his bed. I thought I thought that it was Jasper and was like, how the French toast is Jasper bumping my chair when I have the upstairs doors closed? What? And because it's so humid in my house right now, my basement door is actually like tough to open and close. So it's like there's no feasible way. Oh, please don't have nurses. Alright. There's no feasible way you could be down here. It scared the hell out of me. Hi, Boomer! Boomer, enjoy your lurky turkey. Yeah, I literally thought it was Jasper. Head on to yes. You know what? That was actually part of the build that I wanted to make, Chloe, earlier. Is I wanted to do head on DS flashbang and then I don't remember something else. Head on DS fanbake. Oh my god, you guys should go follow Moomer too. Oh, actually, I'm gonna use my rest of my medkit on you. That's all I got, homie. I like this cosmetic, this hair piece. Who's this? Zarina. Ooh! Oh, we gotta go, lovely. We gotta go, lovely. You should have taken the God palette. I'll take it. I'll take God palette. That's right. They got out of the way, or they got out. They did get out, right? They're leaving. No, Wester's looking for them. That sucks. I just didn't make sense to stay and finish the heal and get hit anyway, you know? Well, I hope that person's not mad at me. I am not Moomer, but I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. I'm having a good time, and that's what matters. I did DC earlier, though. Oh, Pumpkin, I'm so sorry to hear that. Poor baby. Oh. Bye-bye. Oh, look, it's the safest palette in the game. Said nobody ever. This guy is scaring me. He knows a thing or two about a thing or two. That's alright. That's alright. Window's right here. Think I won't drop that at 3? I'll drop it at 3. Sheboygan. I think I was dead no matter what there, but I thought it was fun. I thought we could, you know, try a little thing. Yeah, DS, that's what I was thinking. Head on, DS. Oh, quick and quiet. I think I was going to do head on, quick and quiet, DS, flashbang. I think that's what I wanted to do. All I do is win no matter what. Ladies, try to do my work type shit. What is that sound? What was that? The rapture? Oh, there's my little booty. Oh. Moomer, I hope you're doing amazing. I love you. The hooks make weird noises. Was that the hook? It sounded like a train was whooshing by. Whoosh. Oh, look at their hooks. They have a Hattie. Yeah, I want to play Hattie so badly. But I don't have any cakes on her, I don't think. Ace bums. Oh my god. Oh, Pumpkin. That sounds miserable. Oh, there's a train. Oh, do you think that's what it was? It was a train? You can't see it. Oh, interesting. I haven't done a gen. Oh, I did touch one. I don't think this... Yeah, I don't think this is getting done, homie. I'm looking for a locker, but I can't find one. And of course, the only one I can find is here. Oh, I'm so scared. Why did it look like he was looking for me? Why did it look like that? How would you even know where I was? Oh. I didn't realize he was right here. Oh, man. These palettes are kind of cheeks in this game, eh? I read that as bums. Man. I'm having the worst luck today, guys. Oh, man. Oh! They were both body blocking! Oh, man. So many pallets, yeah. Not a lot of safe pallets. I threw the one God pallet, though, and I feel really good about that. I did get a stun on him, though. Rat. Think of the forehead, QC. I'm not gonna lie. I might actually just do solo queue. Not because I have anything against Spades or Leon's Moans. It's just faster. Because I do die very quickly because I'm not good at this game. It's just faster if I just, you know what I mean? So, well, no, we'll try one more game. If not, cause like I'm doing like all these safe builds and everything like that, and I play pretty safe. I don't teabag. I don't do anything. So I don't know. I'm just gonna do solo queue. Do you guys mind? I hope Leon's Bones and Spades don't mind. I just want to get blood points, and I hope you guys don't mind. I hope you guys don't hate me. I just, oh, and then I could play another character, too. No, I'm so sorry. But then I could play other characters, too, because then I don't have to worry about bringing cakes. So I'm gonna play other characters. Gabrielle. Let's do... I don't know. Should I do Dead Hard? I never use Dead Hard because I don't know how to use it. Oh, Dramaturgy. Dramaturgy is funny. Enjoy your lurky turkey, W shirt. Thank you. Interesting. I don't know if I noticed that. Are you really? What did you do? What you do to him? Interesting. Well, I guess I think there was one gen left at the end, right? I don't remember. I didn't do any gens. That was all you guys. You guys were very efficient on gens. I did not do anything. Yeah, okay, let's try this build. Lady Thundercat. Thank you for the forehead, Kissy. I washed my hair today, so my hair is shedding like crazy. Have a good night, Pumpkin. I'm sure it was a very exhausting day for you. I hope you have a good night. I would say good night, Pumpkin. Move my blackberries out of the way. I should have known not to give in. I should have known not to give in. Pumpkin! I gotta say, my mood has gotten so much better since Jasper has been upstairs. Oh my god, that cat gets me on my last nerves, I swear. It just sucks though because Midnight and Charlie also ran upstairs too while I was telling Jasper to go up. And so now it's just me and Boo. Just me and Boo. I guess Boo gets all the treats now. Sacha dies. Man, I'm sorry. I can't tell if you're being facetious or not. Also, I just realized my camera... Oh, is my camera messed up? Is that why it looks so bad right now? Oh, that's why it looks so bad. Okay, there we go. It's so much better. I was like, why does my camera look like ass today? There we go. Ah! Thank you. Here you go, Boo. Thanks for not knocking over all my shit unlike somebody. I don't know why Jasper's being such a bad boy. But yeah, sorry, Spades and Leon's Bones. I swear to God, it's not you guys. It has nothing to do with you guys or the killers or the survivors. This is going to be a short stream. And all I want to do is to get as many blood points as I can. And, oh, I love this map. And... Oni? Oh, it is an Oni. Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. Again, it's not you guys. I'm sure you guys will get much better teammates now that I'm not playing. I disagree, but that's alright. No, 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 no! I don't trust you. Oh, he got me good. Oh, he got me good. He's got high or low ping. My ping's fine. She's fine. Yeah. Decent lobby, decent lobby. Hi, Kelly! Kelly, I hope you have a great day today. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. That was a really fast down. He got in a really fast chase with Jake, too. I wonder how he saw me so quickly. I think he saw, like, the edge of my map when I was behind that rock. What is happening? What's up with this person? Wait. Why are they just stood there? I want to see. Wait, I want to see what's happening here. Wait. Wait. Wait, don't end the game yet. I really want to see what's happening here. They're just stood there, but they're also not, they're not recovering. So I really want to see what's up with them. They're stuck in a locker. No, I feel so bad though. Oh, 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 okay. Oh, you got that, nice. W not say. All right, I can go. I can pick up this gamer. Perfect. Oh. I'm gonna go and save this gamer. Man, that guy had it too. I wonder if this Jake is like still bugged or if he might be okay. Okay, he's good. No, he was in the locker. So I think he hit him and hit him in the locker. Oh, that scream was so scary. What the heck? God! Oh, this is so scary. No, I'm playing Gabriel right now. Like, I love Ace. Don't get me wrong. I love Ace so much, but I want to play different characters today. He's bleed out Winchester. Oh, you're still in the game? Yeah, see? You see? Also, Dragon. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. We are doing our sponsorship with Gunner. Make sure you guys check out the 20% off prescription sale, RX sale, the mystery box sale, and check out the new Dex Cyberpunk glasses that they just released too. Very cool. Very, very cool. Right now, we're just trying to get as many blood points we can while this event is still going. It's going great, by the way. That's such a joke. That's all right. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Do you see me? Okay, perfect. Oh, he sees me. Oh, come on, Spacebar. You gotta work with me. Spacebar, you have gotta start working with me. That's right. One day, I will get that spacebar to work for me. It's not this day, but one day. This is only our first hook. He's gotta be going to a pain res, right? That's why he's walking so far? Let's see. No. Oh, could be something else. Yeah, so I've noticed the really bad, like, stuttering on the ground only happens. So it doesn't happen every time I die under a pallet, but it happens every single time. Do you want heal points? Okay. A wooden fence, thank you. It doesn't happen every time I die at a pallet, but it happens every time that it's like I tried to drop the pallet, but it didn't drop. So I don't know if like the game is still like freaking out / stuttering over it, you know. Je ne sais pas. It also just could be coincidence and I'm just 100% coping. Yo, what's up, Able Geek? Thank you so much. You know what? I have died very, very quickly every single game so far. But you know what? I'm gonna get a lot of blood points. And we're having fun. I did have a really funny DC that I did. I DC'd earlier because it was just really funny. It was against a ghost face, so did we really lose out on anything? Ooh! Oh, he stole me, right? Oh, I pressed R instead of E. See, this is why I don't use exhaustion perks. This is why I don't use exhaustion perks. I went to go use dramaturgy to go run, and I pressed R instead. Oh, that's right! I forgot you had someone to come fix your internet. Okay, I mostly wanted to hang with you and test my internet, and those couple games to get 400 ping. So did someone come and fix your internet? This is why we're friends. I'm so dumb. Dankos. They did? Okay. Interesting. Speaking of firmware, oh man, you know what I haven't done is I haven't, yeah. Is I haven't updated my como se dice, NVIDIA in a while. I want to go to a locker to finish healing, but also, like, don't. Alright. Okay, he's over there. Damn. I really want to get into a locker. He's looking for me. Okay. I should be able to get this heal. Oh, I never finished breaking that totem. I forgot I never finished breaking that totem. So, I'm just gonna go be stupid and go over here. I forgot that I never finished breaking that. I stopped mid-break. That's right. No, I forgot that I got like 75% done breaking a totem and I left. A lot of blood boba. You know what would be so fun is if, like, you know that Dead by Daylight 10-year party that they're doing in Montreal? If they had themed drinks, don't you guys think that blood boba would be like such a fun themed drink for that party? I think that'd be a dope thing that they could do. Like Oni Maps had to deal with one on the phone with it. Oh no, you're good, Rosaria. Rosaria, you're so good. You don't have to say hello. I have no idea. Good behavior on the phone? Oh, hell yeah. No, pre-drop. Oh, I'm pre-dropping. Wah! I didn't think he was gonna break it. That's quite big. That was insane. This guy is terrifying. I love that this Jake has just been like my god and savior this entire game. Thank you, homie. Thank you. Also, hi, Panda Pants. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Oh. You don't want me. Ah, good boy. That's a good boy. That's a good lad. You don't want me. Go to bed, Pumpkin. Go to bed. Go take care of yourself. The size of his club? Oh, we look at the size of his club? Pre-drop! Oh my god. I love that I can abandon. Do you guys see that? Hey. No, go away. Go away! Why is that wall so big? That's what she said. He's just getting all of his blood, what'd you call it? Blood boba? He's just getting all of his blood boba. Hi, zombie! Mwah. Think of the forehead kissy. Blorbs. Blorbs is a good one. My turn to heal you. Oh, poops. Alright, well, I'm gonna go do my totem so I can go heal myself. You know what I mean? I'm scared though. Oh, Jacob! Why do you have the exact same pathing? Oh, thank you! Oh, thank you, Zombie. I hope you're doing so good. Hope you had a good stream too. Hope you got lots of blood points today. He wants your pussy? Oreo ice cream! What's like being God's favorite? How is he like this? I'm wiped, I got hag and died. Oh, no way! Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, Chloe. Oh, ew. This is nice. You guys like this. You guys like this. Rank resweat. You know what? I was actually thinking that earlier, Leanne's Moans, but I haven't healed anybody. The only person I've healed is myself, and I don't know if Conviction procs if I've healed myself with inner healing. God's favorite princess. When do we see me do a Shadowheart cosplay? Oh, I don't know. I think I more have a Karlach body, right? Yeah, okay. I didn't think inner healing procced, but if it did, oh, that'd be so huge. I did pick them up off the ground. See, Leanne's Mountains might keep you around. You're very smart and tall and talented and handsome. I do want to point out though, I was not first dead, and even though I've been on the floor a lot, I feel like I've got some blood points, you know? We'll see. I'll take it, you know? I'll take it. Oh, please pick me up. I'm about to die. It got too greedy. Hey, I got 10. I didn't touch a single. Wait. I almost did an entire jet. Wait. No. Why? No. Go back and say it with your chest. Why do I have 0 objective? Shut up. They're not. Are they not? I'm never doing a blood jet ever again. GG's. It was Frank our killer? GG's Frank. I didn't know that. With someone? Shut up. Okay. Why is he? Because your helmet is very, I don't know. It's fun. It's festive. It's a festive hat. I don't know. That was so funny. I love that. Oh, did I don't remember if I clipped that. That was so funny. Oh, I like that a lot. Tired as fuck. You better be taking care of yourself, Zombie Magic. That's so funny. Only give event points. Oh, I see. I got more points in the Wesker game than that one. Oh, I did a gen in the Wesker game, right? Well, not a gen, but I did like I worked on a gen. I didn't even look at how many points I had because I was so gagged about the 0 objective points. 0 objective just makes me. I was in that game for 20 minutes. Okay, that was like the longest 20 minutes of my life. It was like 10 minutes, but still. I clipped something. I clipped something once. 21K. Wait, which game? In this Oni game? That's not bad. I didn't even unhook anybody. I just got people off the floor. That's not bad at all. I keep getting lipstick all over my lids because I suck them. I pipped. Oh, I didn't even notice. I gotta start paying attention. You had more chase points? Oh, yeah. Because I was just insta-downed every time, right? With Oni. Na. I did get a head-on in the Wesker game. Oh, did they? Did they have, like, Terminus and everything? Yeah. Look at you, Spades. Look at you. Stopping people from getting their chase points. There's a totem. Pick your feet up off the ground. Wait, why do you pick your feet up off the ground? I haven't done that before. But why do you pick your feet up? Is it so that they don't like run over them? No head, remember me, blood worded. Oh, cool. Well, maybe no way out, eh? And it's creative black tie dress code. I'm wearing a black tux that had pink floral print all over, a teal floral tie, black bandana. Oh, wow. Oh, that sounds lovely. If you have any pictures, I would love to see, because that sounds very, very nice. That sounds like a really good outfit. And really good color scheme, too, I think. Salsa says she loves running over my feet. Really? Really? So, Balthazar, my tuxedo cat, loves feet. He's such a weird boy. He loves feet. He loves rubbing his face on feet. He loves, like, hanging out with my feet. He loves everything about feet. He doesn't hit them or anything, right? He doesn't, like, hit them or sweat at them or anything, but God, does he love feet? He's just a weird boy. Why are you just running through pallets? Whoa! I'm waiting for him to pull up his M2. What are you doing, brother? Oh, it's a nice connection. I'm also trying to get as far away from the unhook as I can, you know what I mean? No one wanted the unhook? I'll get the unhook. Not me being a mom that does 2 jobs. That does, take a chase and do the unhook. Oh, oh! Ladies, trying to do my work type shit. Ladies. It's really just a bat. That's so cute though. Bat. That's adorable. Yeah, Balthazar just like rubs his face all over my feet. And he loves shoes. My shoes, other people's shoes, just shoes. He loves shoes. He loves feet. He's such a weird boy. Foot fetish. Cat. That's my boy. Loves shoes too. It's so weird, right? Why is it you again? Oh, okay, so he definitely knows I'm here. I didn't hear a tier 2. So I think it's actually safe for me to go over here. Oh, well. Why? He's like me when I play killer. Whenever I play killer, I eat every pallet. Oh, I nom every single pailletta. Alright, so this is awkward. Oh. Okay. What do you know that I don't? I will throw every single pallet, though. Awkward enough. I'm going to. Oh! You still don't have tier 2, though. You still don't got it. Alright, I would like to touch a pallet. Generator. Sorry, I've thrown like 8 pallets. But to be fair, I've gotten stuns out of almost every single pallet, so I'll take it, right? Hi, Eclipse! I hope you're doing so good, homie. And thank you for the 4 kissy. Spades. Yes, please. Yes, please. When is the next 2v8? Is it next month? That's an interesting outfit. Isn't he so hot? Oh, Leanne's Moans. I did put our picture of your Felix and my Gabriel in the Dead by Daylight channel in the Discord. It is next month. Okay, cool. Guys, it's a generator. Yep. I put our slutty little crop top outfits in there. It's a little crop top. Yeah, exactly. Who said my shoes are stinky? I don't know if Balthazar said that. Balthazar just loves feet. But I don't judge. This is a safe place. We don't judge. Whoa, Sheboygan. Holy. Whoa. Oh, no. Why are you so fast? Why you come fast? Holy moly. That was a very fast zombie. Holy crap. I met a very fully tuxedo cat named Jimmy. That is so cute. I think animals being named after food and animals being named after people are so cute. Oh my god, guys. I just looked at my activity feed and I got 2 follows 16 minutes ago and 14 minutes ago, and I didn't say anything. Can you guys do me a favor? The biggest favor, the sluttiest little favor. If you guys see a follow alert go off, can you just like aggressively yell, meow, please? That'd make me so happy. You guys don't have to. But if you guys just yell like meow in chat, I'd really appreciate that. I'm just gonna go and save you. Because he'll want me. Oh, no way she took that! You're such a tank. Oh, Yoon Jin. Oh, you're so hot. Oh, and Golden Kappa. No way. Oh, Lightborn. Damn. That was good, though. That was good. Yeah, if you guys could just, like, scream in chat. Meow. Because I can't hear alerts during the Gunner segments. Yeah, that's an add-on. I didn't know. I didn't hear a gen go off. You got one too? Was it Az? Did Az have one? Well, it's Lee Yoonjin now, right? Lee Yoonjin, right? Am I saying that right? Oh, okay, so it was Az. I was watching her stream yesterday. Oh, actually, I can heal myself. No. Nope. Do a gen. Nope. Do a gen. I'll heal myself. I'll go heal myself. Oh, I see him. I'll go this way. Actually, he's in chase, so I'll do this. Eclipse, thank you for the 45 stream streak! That is awesome. Thank you so much. 45. Lee Yoonjin. I gotta get into that remembering. Oh, he's hooking right there. So this is awkward. You don't check. Yeah, okay, don't check that. Okay, good. Hello, love. I'm here to save you. Yippee! Oh, I love resurgence. Oh, thank God you have resurgence because... Bye! I'll stay here. Even though this gen needs to get done. I think I want to stay here. Because it has the TNO. Whoa! Whoa! But... Woo! Oh, God. Oh! 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 Alright, so that's awkward. So anyways, I started blasting. Oh, hello, love. Oh, no! Oh, that's alright. 2 gens left. Taeyong's first name, yeah. And it's like how, oh, and Fung Min, because it's Min Fung, right? But it's Fung Min. So, okay, so I have a question. Why, okay. So, okay. Then what is with the inconsistencies with behavior, then? Like, why did behavior not, like, do that from the beginning? I can explain? Oh, okay. Yeah, please do. Please do me a teach. Like, I'm not criticizing, I'm just curious. Imagine if you had just gotten that locker. I had on one of my other classes, but... Oh, no! Oh, he's checking gens. I'm just gonna leave. You guys mind? I'm just gonna leave. Oh, he's chasing. I was hoping he would commit to the gen. I think he knows now. FOP. Nope. That was bad. The people kept fucking up and thinking her name was Fong and called her Fong, and that's not correct, so they swapped it for further releases. I think they should too, Spades. I feel like it would have been easier to just correct people, or not correct, but like teach people the correct way to say their names, as opposed to whitewashing the names, right? How come I never see? Really? I've been getting quite a bit of tricksters. He's pretty up there. Big Punchy. I did have a Demogorgon the other day. We were very excited about it. It's always Big Punchy. Is Nemesis Big Punchy? Still don't pronounce it correctly. People are dumb. I missed almost all the event if I got work in the morning. Oh no! Chloe, are you gonna go get some sleep now? GG's! That was a fun game. I liked it because I lasted more than 10 seconds. Really? Damn, that sucks, Spades. Yeah, her father called her Min. Okay. Is it Hawk or Hack? Oh, I lost my bonus. All right, let me... Oh, you know what? I don't think I collected my... I didn't. Oh, yeah, if you guys aren't going to play today, make sure you guys at least log in and get your blood point gift, your daily blood point gift. All right, Ghostface's Prestige 7. Yuck. I'm joking. I did really want to play Hattie. I'm going to play Hattie. I haven't played Hattie yet. Sure. Oh, I was watching Rootsy's stream and she got a twins and I got so mad. I got so peanut butter and jealous. Years. I very seldomly go against twins, but I'll play twins. This guy's name is Fresh Dookie. Almost 4 a.m. Oh my god. So that you're gonna take a nap is what you're saying. Because if it's almost 4 a.m. and you gotta be there at 7, you only get like an hour to sleep. Because you have to get up, get ready, and I'm assuming drive there. I don't think I've ever read the lore on anybody. Gotcha, Rosario, gotcha. Yeah, it's just Fungmin. Lee Yunjin. Spades, can you do me a favor? And it's okay if you don't want to, or if you don't have the time, or if you just don't feel like it. But if you have the time / desire to, can you type out everybody's names that I'm supposed to say it? Because you said it's also supposed to be for Yui, and I think you said someone else too. How am I supposed to? What are their names that we're supposed to be saying it? Of all the characters that are out, because I think you said Yui. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Thank you, homie. Porque no los dos. Just so I could like start getting used to saying their names. Oh, I like this song. Thank you for the follow! Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I actually saw that. Because I don't hear it. Oh, I wonder who the killer is. You guys didn't meow, by the way. I'm very disappointed in you. But thank you for the follow. I do have anonymous follows on. But I see you and I appreciate you. Welcome in. Oh, there's a totem. There's a totem. Oh! That scared me. Meow, 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 meow. Ooh! Well, what have we here? Please don't come here. Oh god, okay. Ginger, thank you for the 100 stream streak. Holy! Because you guys should get in the practice of meowing. You guys should always be meowing in my stream. Ooh. Where are they? Oh, there they are. Alright. Well, then I'm gonna go see if I can find a generator. Or a gas pump. What do we got here? Gas fudge. What's up, Mav? She is meow. Oh, look, they have rotten on their thing. Are you sick? Not worth it. Not worth the blood points. Not worth it. Not worth it. Yo, V kind of going crazy in this chase? Oh no. Oof. That was awesome though. Oh, hello, lovely. Excuse me. That actually might be the last one for that gen. It was cool. Perfect. Aha. Ooh. I want one of the other two to get the unhook because they're already sick, and so I'm hoping that they, like, you know, and so I can avoid being sick as long as I can. Canary, right? I did almost sacrifice it for that one gen that Dwight was on, but I'll probably sacrifice it here. This is the first solo queue game that I've played in a very long time where people aren't like immediately cleansing. Yeah, I'll sacrifice it here. So it's cool. Oh, Kels. Oh, I'm so proud of you. So proud of you for sleeping. Oh, chase me, chase me. Okay, good girl, good girl, good girl. No, chase me. Okay. I didn't want her to get the other girl that was just off hook. What are we doing? The bloodlust is crazy. I fucked that up. Damn. That's alright. You did too. I fucked it up again. Ah! You know she aimed for the pallet. You know she aimed for the pallet. Yeah. I'm telling you, once we start getting Midwest servers, it's over for you guys. Or if I ever move to the East or West Coast. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Look at me finally being able to see things. That was nice loop. That infinite, apparently. Thank you so much for the follow. I do have anonymous follows on, but I see you and I appreciate you. There was a Dragonite in chat. Oh, man. Postcon crash. I'm so proud of you, though. A Chicago server. I'll take an Ohio server. Close enough. That was. I feel like that loop went on way longer than it should have. Enjoy your games, Ratbat. Oh, holy bloodlust. I'll take a Detroit server. I would take that too. I swear this is the longest I have ever seen a solo queue game. No one's cleansed. Not a single person is cleansed. Oh, thank you so much, Spades. Holy crap. Scooby Riz. Is it? What's up, Faith? Faith, it's your birthday today, right? All 3 people who had birthdays today, at least in the Discord server, came in a chat today. That's so funny. That's so funny. Faith, everyone say happy birthday to Faith. I hope you're having such a good day. What did you do to celebrate, if you don't mind me asking? No, wait, we had all 3 birthday people come in. Happy birthday! What'd you do for your birthday? Or what are you going to do for your birthday? Do you have anything today, or are you going to do something on the weekend? Tall, hot, smart, talented, handsome. Oh, I'm not drinking today. I'm not during the sponsor stream either. Sorry. Sorry, guys. You went to college? Boo. Are you going to do anything for your birthday on the weekend? Holy! What's up, Cayman? Yo, Cayman, thank you so much for the raid. Also extinct. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Oh, yo, Cayman, welcome in. How was your stream? We are currently playing some DBD, doing our sponsor set with Gunner Optics. Everyone say, hello, Gunner. And then followed promptly by saying hello to Cayman. Rin, mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. I hope you're doing so good, Cayman and friends. Welcome in. Hello, Gunner. Panda Boss! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Oh, you said there might be a tree. Okay. I read that message. Sorry, I didn't, like, read it out loud, though. Did you really Panda Pants right now? Or, in the past? Deathhugger Endgame? Yeah, I'm waiting for them to start, cleansing. I'm actually surprised that the person who just got dead did not cleanse. Oh, no. Oh, yesterday! Okay, cool. So you haven't gotten them yet. Panda Buzz, I'm doing alright. I'm doing alright. How are you doing? Happy Monday, guys. Okay, man, I hope you had such a good stream. I'm so surprised. Oh, okay. Fresh Dookie hasn't been hooked yet. Vimum, yeah. She's fun. I thought I would enjoy playing Plague once upon a time. But then I'm just like, realize I'm not good at Killer. Cayman, mwah. Think of the forehead kissy. What's up, bodies by Matt DBD? Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get hit here. Oh, she's committed. No way. Oh, and V is about to be finished. Oh, can I get like one more point? One more point, come on. Oh, adrenaline. What? Oh, I didn't even look at my build. That's funny. Yeah, I did not once look at my build. That's so funny. I was like, why am I so fast? Oh, I'm running to the other door. That's not good. That's right. I'm just gonna cleanse. I'm gonna cleanse, though. Like, I know he's stinky, obviously, but it's fine on the game. He's also first stage, too. So he can hold on a minute while we work on the doors. Who are you playing? I'm playing as Hattie. Hattie Core, whatever you guys want to call her. But Cayman, please make sure you get your post-stream self-care. Get your post-stream stretchies, bathroom breaks, namis, and babies. Eco Pico Puko stretch your drink. Please take care of yourself. New headset? Me? Not me. Unless, nope, she's wearing earrings. I'm not sure. Oh, there she is. Okay. Oh, she's waiting to get de-stinky. Interesting. Okay. Well, she doesn't have her power. That was fortuitous. Huge. Nah, that's alright. I don't have conviction because I didn't heal anybody. That's alright. That's alright. Could work out. Oh, you never see it glowing? Yeah, the ears, change color. I have it set to a, hex code that is in my logo. So it's fun. The giant fart noise that rings out in game after you cleanse always gets me. Oh, like, does it scare you? That's funny. Isn't it cool? I could also change it to have it cycle through different, I don't know, different colors and scenes and patterns, but I just have it do with this, like, pink hex code. When did you get here? No way. No way. Her leaving to get her power is so goated. Whoa. No way. Guys, it's my first escape tonight. And it's against a killer that I'm notoriously bad with, too. So that was awesome. Pixel, you're bad against every killer. Shut up! Shush. Shush, 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 shush. I would like to thank Cayman for the raid, because I think that's what helped. GG's. Oh, they had Lightborn, too. Why is everyone running Lightborn? There was only one flashlight in the lobby. Hey, you know what? Do your thing, chicken wing. Do your thing. 2-hour luck. Also, an ad is about to start. Ads now, no ads in game. Also, here's my IRL ad. Don't forget that we flashlight trauma maybe. Don't forget that we are currently sponsored by Gunner Optics. And just so you guys know, anytime you guys make a purchase with Gunner, whether you use my code or not, if you use it during my streams, I do get commission off it. No, Leon's Moans. I literally, I cannot, like, I am not coping. I'm not bitching. I'm not complaining. I'm not molding. I am literally just making observation. I get found first in chase more in games more often than I could possibly admit, and I'll use distortion. I'll use distortion and I'll hide behind places, but the killers either just know where I am because of their killer game sense, or it's because a survivor that I'm playing with, whether it's a teammate or just a solo queue, will run right to me. And it's like the Ghostface game earlier. I was like, what are the odds that Meg ran right to me? No, ugh. I'm not mad about it. I'm just like, how? Like, how does that keep happening? It's been a while since I've asked, what gunners would you recommend for someone who looks like Andrew Garfield? I feel like an aviator style. Like, I want to say the Barons. Just because, like, that's, like, the knee-jerk reaction. And because Spider-Man and Iron Man kind of go together, right?
Hello.
And they ignore us. It's because they can tell I'm the weak target, right? Thank you so much for the follow. GG! Oh, sorry. I do have anonymous follows now. GG's! Pinhead's girlfriend. GG's! You guys, were you guys playing together? Because you guys were so good. I didn't do anything. I just sat there and looked pretty as Hattie. But no, GG's Pinhead's girlfriend. Everyone say GG's Pinhead's girlfriend. You were the V. Yeah, you were the V. Cool. GG's. I don't even remember last time I used Lightborn, and even then it was the troll because it's too funny to watch people I think I had used Lightborn at one time. I don't remember.
Happy 10 months, Pixie.
I don't remember. I think I did use Lightborn for something. Will you still be here? I think I contractually have to be here for another hour. I do. Papa, thank you so much for the 10 months! Enjoy your 90, count them, your 90 emotes, your ad-free viewing, and your sub badge. Thank you so much, Papa. I hope you're doing so good. Oh my god, yeah, V had the really goated first chase. I totally forgot about that. That's really kind of like started the game off really well for us, was the first chase. Papa B, thank you for the forehead kissy. But seriously, GG's. Bum 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 bum. Da 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 da. Why is Shrek looking at us like that? Why he's telling you guys to do this because I can't actually say this during the sponsor stream with Gunner. That's what he's telling you to do. I can't verbally say it, but I can type it. That's funny. Yeah. It was a, what was it? An onions and waffles flavor. And it was also a Mai Tai flavor. So it was like joke flavor and an actual good flavor. Yeah. It's like Shrek's what onions and waffles. And then Mai Tai was the other flavor. Man, that onions and waffles one is, It is something. I bet if I smelled it, I bet it would still smell like onions and waffles, too. God, that was gross. Oh, that's so gross. Schmelly schmack. Ah. Oh, Mystical Pickle, is this gonna be a good game?
The truth will reveal itself when the moment is right.
No shite! Thanks for the help. But thank you so much for the resub, Peppa. You're our first sub of the week! Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. Ah, did you get, like... Did you get the collector's box, or did you just get the onions and waffles? That's smart. See, I don't have smart anywhere in my body. I got nervous because I saw Terry Radius right away. I got scared. You had to? Was yours missing an eyebrow too? Because my Shrek Shaker's missing an eyebrow. I still haven't told my partner manager about it. I should, just so I could get like an extra one, you know? Like a replacement. Just so I can have two. It's a Talbot! Where's Raven? So apparently, Raw Raven, one of our mods. I have to say that, but you never know. You never know. People might not know. Apparently Raven has a superpower where she'll type in someone's chat and... Whoa! She'll type in someone's chat and they'll instantly get a Talbot, like a Blight. And so I'm waiting for Raven to be here. Secretly or something. And then be like, see? The power works. Whoa! How did you, what? I'm still saving you. I'll die for you. Think I care? No way! No way! Oh, and I still die. No! Oh, I hate this, like, haircut on Talbot. Sorry, Gabriel. And by Gabriel, I mean, his name's Gabe, right? What's his name? Dustin! His name's Dustin. Sorry, I don't watch that show. I wasn't as lucky as you. I got a normal one. I wonder, like, how many people had a defect. I say defect because, you know, it's pretty funny. I wonder how many people had a defect. Shrek Shaker. It's very funny, though. I wonder if I should have gotten the unhook. Maybe I shouldn't have got the unhook because Lara was up there. I don't know. I think I just really wanted my unhook points. I think. Yeah. Come here, puppy. Come here. Come here, puppy. He's gonna come right back to hook, though. Oh, boy, is he coming right back to hook. Yeesh, you're gonna let me have that vault, right? Good boy. Good boy. Oh, he's chasing Dustin. Alright, well, I guess I'll just heal really quick, right? I guess I'll just heal really quick, right? Oh, I heard a zombie. The way I looked at— oh! Was it because I did the— come here? Is that why you looked at your monitor? Because that's very funny. Oh, that's very funny. Who's a good girl? Here you go. Here's a good chat. Come here. Oh! What is he doing? I thought he was doing what I was doing, but he's not. What is he doing? What's Dwight doing? Don't worry, Lara. I'll save you. Because Dwight's locker hopping? I don't know. I don't know. Oof. Oh, she just got Gabriel. I keep saying Gabriel! Dustin! His name is Dustin! She got Dustin. Is that a Gen up there? It is a Gen Gen. I love Gen Gens. Did you really, Cake? I'm so proud of you. Is this your first time getting? Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were getting chased. I'm sorry. Sorry, lovely. Sorry, Dustin. Congratulations on Eerie 1. Shut up. Did you get it on Survivor or Killer? Or both? Ashley Rose. Mwah. Think of the forehead, QC. Oh, I have conviction. Yep, yep. MREs. Ew. Oh, okay. So he has Thrilling Tremors. Oh, okay. And whatever that perk was. The fear I felt for you. It was skilled. Lara! Oh, she must have got like a dumb hit or something. No way! Well, congratulations. Good for you. Whoa! Holy blood points, am I right? Whoa! So sorry, lovely. Oh, I'm so sorry, Dustin. I just want to get as far away from the hook as possible. I'm so sorry, lovely. Whoa! Why? Why? Why do you not have a tear radius? Wait, wait. Where did that go? Where did that go? What was that? Wait. He didn't kick a gen. No gens at 90%. Or whatever it was. Why don't you have a tear radius? Well, he may have kicked a gen, maybe. I've only played Survivor since I got the game eons ago. I primarily play Survivor. I do love playing Killer, but I just very seldomly will stream playing Killer. Just because it's so hard to read chat while playing. It's like impossible. I do not know how people do it. Oh, okay, lovely. You know he's carrying somebody, right? Oh no, he's not carrying somebody. I'm just dumb. Sorry, I thought he was carrying the Lara. Do you want me to heal you, bruv? I heal you. Is there a perk for that? There's a couple. They all escape me right now. I could tell you what teachables there are. Oh. I might be dead here. Wow! My one pallet! And you panicked through it. That's fine. Aha. Aha. Alright, I put that there so you know that I'm here. Don't come here. Oh, no way! That's a lot of points, Escape. And I hope you enjoyed your tier 3 sub while you had it. So that's why the that's why the sub goal drop. Okay. Okay, let's heal. Escape. Mwah. They go with the forehead kiss. See? Oh. Welcome back, Solstice. Oh, love Turbo. Turbo's great. I'm afraid this guy's gonna sneak up on me. Oh, there he is. Again, no tear radius. Where is... Like, it's not kicking any gens, though, right? What? I gotta see what his build is, because I'm just curious at this point. I'm just curious. Now I just need to know. Oh, there's tear radius. Well, I'll do this, gen. Right. I love Turbo. Turbo's great, especially when you have... Oh my god! I was literally gonna say that, Escape. Same brain. Because I follow and I watch so many people. Turbo's just great because you just keep yapping. I get gifted subs a lot, though. In a lot of the communities I watch, which I'm really grateful for. Oh. But that's only if I type in the chat. If I type in the chat, I don't know. 1 out of 3 times I'll get gifted a sub, which is I'm really like, grateful, and it's really generous. But that's only if I type in the chat, and I don't often type in chats. I'm so scared I'm gonna run right into him, and I have to pee. I have to pee really badly, so I'm scared. He's gonna come and jump scare me, and I'm gonna pee myself. Do you want me to heal you? Because I will. People are so kind. It's, oh, so kind. So sweet. Yeah, I'm always getting gifted subs. So sweet. Which is great, because everyone has some really cute emotes. I only have 90. I'm joking. I have so many emotes. But even if I, like, could afford to get a commission right now, because I do have ideas. I actually have a bunch of ideas I want to do. But even if I could afford to get commissions, I don't even know what perks, or not perks, perks, what emotes I would even swap out, because I love them all so much. I think, you know what? I think the Baldur's Gate emotes might go first, because I don't play Baldur's Gate on stream like I used to 2 years ago. So I think that would probably be the call, right? Swap those out. Not all of them. Fruitsy! Rootsy, thank you for the 5 swim, sweet angel. Also, mwah, thank you for the 4 head kissy. Get assigned a Pokemon. How do you feel about... you know what? This is the first one that came to mind. Pombon. Pombon? He's the newest starter. The newest fire starter. Gen up there. Oh, did I not finish that gen? Oh no, I did not finish this gen. A Leon emote? Lexi already has such a good one though. Pombon, yeah. I think that it was the first one that came to my head. I don't know why, but it was the first one that came to my head. Well, what would be the Leon emote? Why are we running? Why are we running? Okay, I'll go this way because you went that way. Right? Whoa! I'll take it. Okay, he's right there.
Help is on the way, dear! Help is on the way!
Yellow Belly! Yellow Belly, thank you so much. Oh, I haven't. I forgot I have to cleanse a totem. I thought I had a totem cleansed. I do not. Shh. Shh. That's crazy. I thought I had a totem cleansed. I even passed by a totem, so I was like, oh, I don't need to cleanse that. I'll save that for later. I gotta start paying attention to the stuff, guys. Yo, GG's. That was a decent game. I was in here a little bit longer. Leon and a little crop top. Oh my god. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. Everyone go follow Yellow Belly. Yellow Belly, what were you doing? Really, Panda Monster? Oh, that means a lot. I'm glad you guys like the emotes. I told you to answer the stream. Oh my god. I don't know what was going on with my mouse earlier, but my mouse kept pausing the streams that I was watching. It was like pissing me off. I had to restart my PC because of it. It was so weird. Really? Do you play Fortnite often? This guy's name is Boner Man. Hey, me too. I'm joking. That's awesome. Recently? No way. Had you ever played it before, or did you just start recently? Hey, Escape, do your thing, Chicken Wing. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out. No way. Are you, like, obsessed with it? I love Fortnite, but anytime I try to play it on stream, it, like, crashes my PC. It's so frustrating. It's PC issues. Really? I was watching her stream earlier, but that was when my internet got shut down for a couple hours, and so I got to see her. She was still in the hospital as Grace before my internet shut off. My baby obsessed. It's a fun game, super duper fun. More zoomies. I can't remember how many cats do you have, Carrie? Canary. That was weird. Also, Yellow Belly, please make sure you get your post-stream self-care. Get your post-stream stretchies, bathroom breaks, nammies, and bevies. Eco, pika, puka, stretch, and drink. I'm currently doing a sponsor stream with Gutter Optics right now. Our spectacles that we love to wear that help with dry eye fatigue, and blue light blocking. And They have a couple sales going on right now. 20% off prescription glasses, $10 mystery boxes, and they also have a new glasses that they just released for Cyberpunk available for pre-order. But we're just playing some DBD right now. It's going to be a short stream today, but we're having a good time. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Thank you so much for the raid, Yellow Belly. I love you so much. Everyone go follow Yellow Belly right now. But go get your potion of self-care. I'm actually going to go pee really quickly if you guys don't mind, and I'll be right back. Yeah, I will be right back. What time is it? 8:30. Okay. Or not even close to 8:30. I'll be right back. Jervs has me. Or J-Bug's coming. Both of them! We might have to run. Oh! Let's go! I take the hit. W. But she might. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna run right to the boon. Methinks. Okay, she hits the gen. I do have Roselle. Ah, no, we gotta go. Alright, he's checking there. Oh, there she is. Oh, J-Bug with the big body blocks. There we go. Medium vault, that's fine. I don't need it. Nice. Yo, J-Bug with the big body blocks. Yo, let's go. Whew. Oh, sorry. Whew. Let's go. Honestly, this boon is so great. Your boon is so good. Oh god, Circle Pin is just so good.
Thank you. Too bad they're banned during the tourney.
Yeah. It's just like that that aura reading, or just like knowing that someone's there is so good. Oh. That's alright. She's gotta break that pallet, yeah. Should I make this? I'm gonna just do it for distance. She vaults. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought for sure she was getting that. That's right. I think I get this. Yeah, it's fine. Why am I taking chase, by the way? When we have Zervs, J-Bug, and Lily Pie here. Why is it I am taking chase? Okay. You know what? I panicked a little bit. Alright. Had to make sure Boo wouldn't come downstairs with us. Or, I'm sorry. Had to make sure Jasper wouldn't come downstairs with us. Boo is safe to be down here because you are not a menace, unlike my cat. The boys are very sleepy. We had a we were hanging out at my parents' house yesterday, and they have the two Great Danes. Well, 2.5 Great Danes, because their other dog can't play with my dogs because she'll eat them. But they're just so pooped today. Speaking of pooped, I'm gonna play a Leon game. I don't know where that segue was, but I have like no offerings for him, so let's spend a little bit of blood points. Give treats! I got you. Here you go, Boo Berry. Wanna come here? Want a treat? Come here. Come here. Come. Up. Boo, come on. Boo, up. Oh, he's a good boy. All right, sit. Huh? Good dog. He's a good doggy. Oh, I forgot my fan was on. I swear it was so nice down here. What what's up, Strange? Oh, Strange, happy Monday indeed. I hope you're doing so good. I hope you had a great weekend, too. Him's the goodest boy, is he, though? Is he? I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm not going to bother with my build. I think I'm just going to leave it whatever it is. What is it? Balance, Deja Vu, Bond, and Conviction. Yeah, that sounds pretty par for the course for me. Enjoy your lurky turkey. Also, Shinobi. Mwah! Thank you for the forehead kissy. How's the fog treating you tonight? It's, you know, I escaped once today, so I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but I did escape once today. It was very exciting. I'm just, honestly, I'm just trying to get as many blood points as I can. Je know what I mean. Yeah, it's fine. I'll keep the same build. Ew, what is this emote? That's exactly what I thought it was. That's so funny. That is a very funny emote. The wheeze. But I had a pretty okay weekend. A pretty okay day today. Something feels off today. Not in a bad way, but just something just feels off. And I'm not entirely sure what or why. I don't know. Again, it's not in a bad way. But so I'm just fighting the weird. I don't know. I guess it's just like it doesn't feel like a Monday, maybe. You know what it feels like? It feels like I'm streaming on a day off. But I always stream on Monday, so I don't know. Do you really? The Wheeze is really funny. It's a really good one. And I knew exactly what it was. Because like even though it has like a bunch of detail in it, I know exactly what it was even in its tiniest form. So it's a good emote. God, that's so good. If anyone's curious what our got D of the day is. Oh, and also our we still have a tie for our POTD, our penis of the day. I believe it's still Canary and Sweetie that have a tie, 6'9" inches. What is this one? This one I can't really tell. It looks like a hug. Oh, yeah, sure, a hug. Well then, I got invited to go to, totally a hug. I got invited to go to the, oh here, maybe I get an Oni and I could recreate Chloe's, chase up here. I doubt it. I got invited to the, oh, tis not an Oni. Is it over there? It looks like it's over there. Okay, cool. No, I'm going over here. Oh, I forgot balance! Oh, yip. That was great. That was exciting. Alright, I'm gonna go do a gen. Like a gen. But yeah, I got invited to the Speed Cafe. The Sonic the Hedgehog Speed Cafe in Chicago. I think it's gone. I think it's gone now. Because it's a pop-up cafe. So it only comes up every, like, it only stays up for a couple months in at whatever location that they go to. But I got invited to go to the one in Chicago. It was really, really cool. I got a little commemorative cup. I got a sweater. Gabby, mwah. Think of the forehead, QC. Yeah, I got a sweater. Wait, is she still on hook? Oh, there she is. The sweater I paid for, though. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Oh, is that our 1% follower there? Was that the 1%? Was that a meow? Is that a meow? So I think the GIF. That's the 1%, right? Well, anyways, thank you so much for the follow. I do have anonymous follows on, but I see you and I appreciate you. Meow. That had to be a long one. It was! So I have 5 different follow alert sounds. And one of the follow alerts only comes up 1% of the time. 1% of every follow. And that was the one. We have! I was there! I saw that! I was there! Shut up, Pixel. It was very exciting. It was very exciting. I can't wait to tell Rootsy that she missed a 1%. But thank you so much for the follows, guys. We got a lot of follows today. We've had like 5 follows today. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you. I was there. Oh, nice. They got the unhook. Slay. Slay, slay, slay. Bixie was here for her own stream? What? I really want to do that gen in the middle right there. Really, really want to. Oh, Megan. Megan's in chase again. I do have conviction up, which is nice. But it's nothing I can really help her with, you know? Unless she goes down to the Payette, though. Which, I don't think there's one there, because I think she already threw that one, right? Wow, Deja Vu and the blood gens are crazy. That's a lot of progress. I want to say something right now, but I don't want to jinx it. So I'll say it after it happens so that I can avoid the jinx. You guys mind? Oh, she was going for the unhook, wasn't she? Oh, she's going for the trade! Good girl. Oh, wait, no. Oh, that's Dwight doing the trade. I don't know why Dwight, I thought you were a lady. Dude looks like a lady. What's up, JJ? Happy Monday. Is he going to that hook? Oh, Megan. Megan, run! Oh, she AFK'd. No, princess. Princess, no. Enjoy her lurky. Oh, no, she's back. Oh, I think she gave up. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, I mean, I guess her sacrifice was, like, not in vain. Oh, it was DS. Oh, Megan. I want to take chase, but also, I'm not good at this game. I'm gonna go heal these guyses. I'm gonna go heal them. Let me go heal them. It's been a long time. Well, I hope you're doing amazing. That's all that matters. I hope you're doing very, very well. I hope you had a good weekend, too. These guyses. My dad hates when I say that. Because it's, like, such a, like, a incorrect way of saying, like, words. You're not supposed to say these guyses or these ones. You know, it's, like, incorrect. Pisses him off. So I say it all the time, naturally. Naturally. Speaking of God's favorite princess. Hello, princess. Everyone say, hello, Wobble Penguin. How did you know? How did you know? What do you know that I don't? Oh, what do you know that I don't? I don't know you have. Villagers sounding looking ass. That's all you have. Is that all you have? Leon, you're very loud. Leon's moans is moaning! He's moaning! Happy Earth Day. Happy Earth Day birthday to these guys. I was actually thinking about that. I was like, I can't forget that Dangos and my dad have the same birthday. Hello, Wavo! Salsa is definitely something she shouldn't be. Classic Salsa. Good evening, princess. I hope you're doing so good. Hope you had a good weekend. I don't want to open that right now. I guess it doesn't matter, right? I mean, he's in chase. Okay. I might as well. He'll get the killer instinct, but that's fine. That's fine. Oh, wow. Guess where he's gonna come. Holy Kindred, by the way. Holy Kindred. Alright, I got you. I got you. I don't know. Kindred was kind of going dummy for me, Kate. I'm not gonna lie. That was going pretty dummy for me. Hi, Raven! Raven, I was searching and screaming and creaming for you earlier because, guess what killer I had earlier? Oh, does she want heals? I'll heal you, love. Oh, look at her for asking for it. It was a play! I was like, please, Raven, please come in this game, please come. But it was a blight. It was a Talbot. It was fun. It was on RPD too. He killed me, and I think he killed everyone else too. It was a fun game though. I was telling everyone about your superpower. Oh. Girl, that is not my fault. That is your fault. You left, not me. That is not my job. It was a Talbot. It was very cool. Very exciting. I don't know why it was very exciting, but I was excited because I never go against blights. Not see my scratch marks? And you're playing Daddy? Yes! Yeah, so I started off playing with Spades and Leon's Moans. And I got so tilted earlier. I say tilted, but like, you know me, it's not, I never get tilted in this game. But I did DC, it was against a Ghostface, so I was like, oh no. And then I was just having bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. And so I was dying in 30 seconds each game. And I just told them, it's like, I'm just gonna go solo queue. Because I feel bad, one, because I'm so freaking cheeks at this video game, right? And then two, because, ooh, oh, wow! That was a, no, you know, that was so valid, you know? I ain't even mad. Ain't even mad. God, look at this. Huge value, look at this. Yeah, this is a very big back toe. Whoa! Back toe, hitbox. I'm gonna go for... Damn. That was good. Playtime is over. Not basement. Interesting. What was I saying? I don't remember. You did last until one jet. No! The one on the new map? That was a good one. I did get him on head on, too. He just was trying to confirm, I think, every kill that he had hooked. And I think I just got unlucky, but then also I'm just bad at this game. But yeah, so I was like, you know, I'm gonna go to solo queue. And plus I really want to play other characters, and I only have cakes on Ace. And so I really want to play other characters, and I don't care if I bring an eyeball when I'm playing solo queue, you know? We'll make it. Alright. Can someone at Behavior make Dwight's... Whoa! Can someone at Behavior make Dwight's sweater available for purchase IRL? I want it so badly. Like, that long sleeve, glowing skeleton shirt is so dope. I want it IRL. No, I'm gonna leave. I'll let you take the... Oh, you can have the pallet. I'll leave, though. Oh, that's a tree. I'll leave. That's your pallet. That's your chase. That's all you. Magical Dick. Mwah. Think of the forehead kiss. See, girl, you know I don't care if you bring up all. But I feel bad, you know? Because I want you guys to get blood points, too. That is good to know, though. Not that I assumed that you would be mad. Toxic Pixel doesn't bring an eyeball. Like, I didn't think that you thought that, but... I don't know. Like, you see all these scenes on Twitter of, like... There was, like, what? 14 different tweets. Whoa! On Twitter of people saying, if you don't bring cakes during this thing, like, don't bother joining my open lobbies. And it's like, I understand. I totally understand. Like, get your blood points. Get your bag. It's 6 times blood points. It's crazy. Hello. It's egregious. Oh. Yeah, that was my bad. But, I don't know. It's just the tism in me, you know? It's the tism and the people-pleasing. I thought he was gonna break that. I think he faked it. I think he YY ladder stalled 360 faking. Ah, there we go. There we go. Is this the tile that I think it is? Ah! It is not. Whoa! I literally... Stupid. I'm so stupid. What's up, Kelton? Hello from Detroit! Welcome in! I am a Chicago suburb, so welcome, welcome. We have a couple people here from Detroit. I think Dwayne's from Detroit. Kells is from Detroit. I like your little wiggle there, Albert. That was cute. Well, welcome in. Magical Chick, I hope you're doing so good. Thank you so much for the forehead, QC. I'm a little bit more picky during the anniversary event, but that's only because they're so easy to get. Oh, right, because you're getting them. Yeah. The event offering and the event is crazy. Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is. Oh, you're saying come. Is that what you're saying? You're saying come? Is that what you're doing? You're saying come? Be a good girl? Come. Woo! You know what? I have balanced landing. I'm just gonna go upstairs, right? I think that's my... plan. Oh, I forgot about that. Well, I'm gonna open this. Damn. Hi, Lisbella. He's nicer than me. I would have chased you. I don't blame him. I don't blame you either. I am grateful for not being chased, though. Sorry, just listening. You know, just listening to a few things. Just listening. You know. Well, I don't think we're gonna get 3 gens done, right? Any totems that need to get cleansed? What? Where is he? Okay. Oh, there he is. Hugs. Hugs for anybody who needs it. Unless you guys don't want the hug, you guys can double and give it to the next person. But big old hugs for you, Lisbella. Bella, where have you been, Loca? Oh my god, listen to this man. Also, thank you so much for the follow. I do have anonymous follows on, but I do see all the names that pop up on the activity feed, and I really appreciate you guys for following. Truly. Everyone's got their DBD drops, right? I'm sure. The little blood moon token or charm. Sure everyone's got it, right? Because what, the blood moon event ends in like 2 days, no? How sad. Might as well. Oh! Is it, am I getting Leon points? Oh, I'm taking that. I just drove by robbed whatever that was. Oh, the map. GG, thank you. Oh. I don't like your name. GG's Leon. I love Leon. I don't like your name. So, that's all you're getting. Not in my Autism Awareness Month. Sorry, but he's not getting anything else besides GG's. Sheesh! Thank you for the 25 stream streak. God's favorite princess watches my streams, likes my streams. Apparently I lived because I was Leon, by the way, so that's nice. So she's exactly where she wants to be, is what you're telling me. I just got dog food delivered today, like the 30-40 pound bag of dog food, and they come in a big box, and I always get rid of it. I always leave those boxes like in my garage just so I can get rid of them right away because it's such a big box. But I put it in my front room today so my cats can play with it. And I'm surprised that Jasper was down here so long because, you know, big old box. And I left the packing paper in there too, so, you know, because they love to play with the packing paper in the box. Hopefully, I'm sure they're playing with it right now, actually. Hi, Girth God. Girth God, happy Monday. I'm blowing out the tunnel for her now. Really? Oh my god, I've seen there's these cats on TikTok that like run around in their tunnel, but like they're like they run like crazy, and it's so funny, and it looks like it's sped up, but it's not sped up. But I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. It's really funny though. It's so cute. I have a Stranger Things theme. Do you really? I have a Pokeball, like, 360 tunnel, that I got for free because it was a gift. Because I think my aunt either got it for her cats and her cats didn't like it, and so she gave it to me, or she got it for me. Period. Either way. Thanks, Auntie. Also, reminder that we are doing a sponsor stream with Gunner Optics. Gunner is our proprietor of delicious glasses that not only look amazing but are functional because they help with dry eye fatigue, and blue light blocking. So we have our you can see my prescription. You can see my face get tiny. We have the 65% amber tint. We have the 35% amber tint. We have the 98% amber max amber tint, my favorite. My favorite. Also, this is our Fallout glasses. ASMR. Guys, I broke a nail. I don't even want to show you because it's like a little bloody. But I broke my pointer nail. I'm so sad. So sad. It really hurt, actually. But it ripped right in the... I'm not even going to say it because it's gross. But very sad about it. Wow. I know. And then... if you guys saw from earlier, the new Dex glasses from Cyberpunk, which are so dope. The Sunnies are really, really cool with these, but these are the new Cyberpunk glasses. And they're so pretty. These are the ones in the Amber Max, and then these are the 65 Amber Tint. And then they also come in the Sunnies as well. There they are. The Sunnies are so cool. The Sunnies are, I think my favorite iteration of them. Like, look, they look so good on him. Don't get me wrong, they look good on her, but, like, this is a better picture. Like, this is so dope. Oi, Jamoy. These are really cool. I don't think you can get these in prescription, though. But, again, don't quote me on that. Prescription sunglasses for those frames. I gotta ask. Because I'm just looking at the website right now, and it doesn't look like I can... I want to say... Now, don't quote me on this, but I think on our last, like, conference call or Gunner call that we were on Zoom, I want to say that they said that these were not going to be in prescription. I think it's, like, an issue or, like, a challenge with the curvature of the lens. Because, you know, it's like... with these lenses, you know, you can make any of these as thick or whatever, but because I think they're limited because of the curvature and the fact that it's like one lens around. I think that's where the limitations are. Again, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Oh god, that'd be so dope. You would look so dope. I mean, you already look cool. But also, happy birthday, Sadie. Spades' horse turned 10 today. Danny's birthday today. Oh, sorry, other Danny. This is Danny Exist. Hello, Danny Exist. I'm gonna use your full name, full government name, because we have other Dannys in here. It was D-A-N-I. That was just really good timing, Danny Exist. That's so funny. Happy Monday. That is really, really good timing. Also, we have 20% off prescription and mystery boxes available still. So, shout out to Gunner. Thank you for sponsoring this stream. Danny, hope you're doing so good. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. What have you been up to? I feel good today. I do feel good today. I feel motivated. I feel... yeah, you know? I don't feel like I want to die. Unlike the last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks are so bad. Oh! No way! Just papers to fill out. Got my brain fried. You know what? I was saying earlier, is just today just feels like a weird day. Does it not? Do we show him? Do we show him? Do we show him what you're supposed to... oh, no. This is actually a really good outfit. I'm not gonna lie. This is a really, really good outfit. I kind of want a Gabriel, you know? Because he's got his, like, his little chest out. He's got his, like, his little leggies out. Quan Tae-young is, you know, got his little slutty ankles out. Really? Did you get any, Danny? Oh. Oh, that did not sound nice, by the way. It felt okay, but it did not sound good. My neck crack. Thanks, I hate it. Did it look at you first, Raven? Yeah, Leon has, what, his RE6 outfit, RE4 outfit, his RE2 outfit, right? I don't remember. I'd have to look. It always does. Nice! Do you know what flavors? Hype sauce? Yes! Yes! Not a big fan of Laganberry. I actually still have like a bunch of cans left over for that because I can't drink them. I hate them so much. Like, I know that I'm in the outliers for people who don't like that flavor, but I don't like it. I've tried it. I've tried it over again. And I can't get into it. More for you guys. More for you guys. But I still have like, I don't know, 6 or 8 cans still. God, hopefully no more than that. I do have inner healing. Wunderbad. Totem right there. Oh, totem over here. Whoa! That was scary. What in the Stranger Things? That is not my problem. Alright, so where was that totem? Aha. I love the Tetris one, though. Because my satchel only fits like 6 cans. Really? Scav. Oh my god. Are you making a Tarkov reference? The Pac-Man ones. So I actually had just requested those a month or so ago. And I think they're like on back order or something. Because they're the only ones that didn't come. Right? Yeah. I should ask to see if I could like put a little pressure and be like, hey, are these gonna get shipped out? Because I got the 3 other cases that I requested, but not the Pac-Man one. I haven't tried the Pac-Man one in the drinky form. No, Danny, I love it. I love Escape from Tarkov. I haven't played it in a while. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this, but I actually want to reinstall Arc Raiders. Because Arc Raiders is like my poor man's Escape from Tarkov. You know what I mean? Because Escape from Tarkov, I just don't understand it. I want to so badly, but I have no clue what I'm doing. I have so much fun, but I'm just so bad at it, right? But I feel like with Arc Raiders is like the poor man's Tarkov for dummies, right? Like, I feel like Tarkov you need so much brain, and Arc Raiders is like a little less brain. It was like a lot of people excited when I was around the Tarkov arena booth. Oh, really? That's so cute. I love that for you. Oh, I love that for you. Have you tried Marathon yet? No, but I've watched some homies play it. But I have not played it. Is it free? If it's free to play, I'll give it a try. But if it's not free to play, I still have to do my taxes tonight. Really, Kelton? Is it free to play? Ooh. Oh. Oh, is that Surge or Eruption? Oh. Oh, okay. $40? I'll wait. I was like, it's about you a copy of Marathon. In like a totally legit way? Dramaturgy! Oh, nice. I was gonna be so mad if Dramaturgy didn't work, you know what I mean? Ooh. You know what? That's fine. Oh. Okay. I was gonna keep going. Oh. 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 Ah! I don't know what this Victoria wants. Can I heal you? Let me heal you. No. Let me heal you. Let me heal you. Let me heal you. Ah, you're such a bitch. Now you don't get heal points. It's a bot, by the way. Hi, Dana. Hi, Dana. Oh, yeah, of course, Jen. That's funny. That's very funny. Ooh, a generator. And there's a totem. Perfect. Bots are so funny. Oh! No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Oh my god. You're so sweet. But I do wanna reinstall Arc Raiders. Because I feel like I've been getting the itch of some running and gunning / looting. God, I love looting. I still don't understand, like, Arc Raiders, because I really didn't play it that much. And haven't played it that much, but I did have fun playing it. Oh. And we go. Oh, there's no way even Dramaturgy doesn't save you from that all the time. That's wildin'. Wildin'. You know what? That's true. And I did reinstall. Oh, Sheboygan. Borderlands 4. Ooh! Get your little feets out of the way. I did reinstall Borderlands 4 to try to stream it so I can get the Twitch badge, but I never played it. And so I didn't get the Twitch badge. So I just uninstalled it again. But I did like Borderlands. It's either people fighting the machines or or each other, one hella social experience. Really? I avoid fighting people if I can because I don't want to fight anybody. Hey! 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 Alright, I'll find a totem. Oh, I already have a totem. I've already done one? I don't remember doing that. Oh, yes, I do believe they got new DLC, yeah. Oh, I heard that people were, like, really pissed at the new DLC, too. Ooh! I don't know why they're mad about it. I just remember reading something on Steam. Like, the Steam discussions about people being mad about something about the Borderlands 4 DLC.
You have little time left.
Ruh-roh, Raggy. Ruh-roh. Oh, the bot is gone. Bye-bye, bot. Oh, you know what, Spades? I'll double check. Because I keep forgetting to check that. Because I keep meaning to. So I'm trying to remember if it's tomorrow or Wednesday. Oh, it's this gen. Oh, this is the Blood Moon. So only in this... Ooh, only in this playlist do you... I got another map. Only in this playlist do you have to worry about the blue gens. But it totally looks like it would be related to the killer, right? It totally does. Ooh. I did not mean to bring the killer to... Sorry, no. Who was that? Sorry, homie. Well, don't come back over here. No! How did he know? Did he see me? Oh, I ran into it. Damn, that's unfortunate. That's right. He's really, like, interesting with his predictions. He's a tough cookie. I don't know what that was.
I will show you no mercy.
Whoa! The range on those are crazy! I love going against the first, though. He's so fun to go against. I'm bad against him. But I'm bad against every killer. But he's so fun to go against. Okay. After this game, we're gonna end our gunner segment. But we're almost dead. We're almost dead. honestly think that's definitely DBD. This is the first 2v8 mode. Oh, really? Oh, Dracula! Oh, hell yeah. Oh, for Borderlands? Uh-oh. 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 Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh. Don't do it. Oh, how did he see you? Look at him just knowing everything. Come on, Ace. Come on, Papa. Oh, man. Oh, I might be able to jump off! No way. I gotta jump off ASAP, though. I gotta go. Let's go! Oh, that was so close, too. That was, like, 99 from me dying. Whoa. Alright, there was a totem. Oh, shoot, it was over there. I'm gonna do it. I need to get healed. I'm gonna do it. Oh, this is so risky. I'm doing it. Oh! It ends Thursday, like Thursday morning, Leon's Moans? That was crazy, right, Loki? I like how you spelled games. Perfect. Nice. Let me get healed.
It begins.
I gotta blow my nose, guys. It's so humid at my house. My nose is dripping. It says until the 16th? Okay. Where was that? Right there. I'll go get him. I got you, homie. Hey! Don't give up on us now. He's coming right back, right? Like, on God, he's coming right back. That potato, what kind of potato were you eating? A baked potato? A boiled potato? A French fries potato? What were you getting? What kind of taters precious was it? Whoa! That was close. Oh, I didn't realize that was open. Oh. How does he know? Like, where I am? I'm twisting and swerving. Where I don't even know where I'm going. Ah! Oh, now he's gonna hit me. Yeah, there it is. Oh, this is not where I want to be. Oh, that's not where I want to be. Oh, that's not. I thought that was another god palette. I didn't realize that was a bad palette. That's right. That's right. Now we can end the gunner segment. GG's. That was a fun game. See, I think what I like the most about the first is that he's just such a fun killer to go against. You know what also is... Wait, do you know also what also? Do you also know what else is fun? Using your tax return on Gunner Optics. But thank you again to Gunner for sponsoring the stream. Don't forget to check out the new Dex glasses from Cyberpunk to use the 20% off prescription sale and to get the mystery boxes. They're only $10 and they're while supplies last. Otherwise, you guys can use code PIXEL2025. But everyone's saying, bye, Gunner! Thank you so much for sponsoring the stream. We love you. My taxes suck. Yeah, I think I had to pay, what, $6,000 2 years ago. Last year, I think, was $7K? Even though I made less money. I had to pay more. I don't know what I'm going to have to do this year. So we'll see. We shall see. Alright, let me change my audio settings so that I can hear alerts again. Yep. Hello? Yeah. Why is Boo so cute? Do you want him? I'm joking. Oh, do you guys want to see Poppy? I show you guys Poppy. Also, if you guys heard my stomach growl, no, you didn't. I'll take him. You can have Jasper. Jasper is such a bad boy. He knocked over, like, as soon as I started my sponsor segment with Gunner. Jasper jumped on the desk to get to the dog treats. And I said, get down, get down, get down. And as he got down, he jumped on top of my cords that I have here. Even though everything's tucked away nicely, there's one cord that juts out to the wall because it's where my security camera down here is. And he knocked it over, and it knocked over so hard that it fell on the floor, and I was going to be so mad if he broke it. Hi, Kyle! Oh, did you hear? It was so loud. I've been eating blackberries, but, you know, blackberries isn't, like, real super sustenance. Also, everyone say hi, Kyle. Kyle, I saw that Dirty 20 was streaming, but I didn't see you there. You were not part of that game, right? He's the worst. I put him upstairs. Not that one. I'm not gonna lie. I opened it, looked if you were there, and I was like, alright, I'm good. I just left. No offense to your friends, I just wanted to see if you were there. If not midnight, I'll take Jasper. Don't matter, then you can have him. Holy tart. Okay. Oh! Wow! Too tart! Too furious! Holy! Ah! Yahoo! Yeah! Top hats with the doorman. From that moment, you'll be out of place and under duress. Hello! I'm gonna show you off, puppy. Oh my god. Please leave all overcoats, canes, and top hats with the doorman. From that moment, you'll be out of place and underdressed. Everything goes according to plan. Hi, booger. Hi, booger. Okay, hi, booger. You're so sleepy. Shh. So sleepy. So sleepy. I told you, he's tired. He is just a baby. He's my baby. It's a big old blackberry seed. You can have that. So cute. So cute. So cute. So cute. Oh, I love you so much. 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 It hurts. Oh. Okay. Oh, big yawn. Big yawn. Is this how mommy's gonna stream? Is this how mommy's gonna stream? Is this it? This is actually how he sits in my lap while I'm editing videos, and it pisses me off because it is not easy to edit when he's like, cause like he sits in my lap fine, but I usually need to have like an arm, one of my arms, to keep him steady. I eepy. Yeah, everybody's upstairs because I had to close the basement door. This Boo Cuddle stream brought to you by Gunner Optics. Gunner, so you can see clearly that the fur baby on your lap. Oh, that's so cute. Actually, we're done with our sponsor stream. We're done now. I'll unpin that message because he actually just reminded me. Alright, go lay down. Go lay down. Big day at work. Big day at work. Lapis. Mwah. Think of the forehead kissy. I hope I didn't miss anyone's messages today. I'd be so sad if I did. No work, only cuddles. Oh, man. Man, what if I end stream, guys? I said it was going to be a short stream. It is 3 hours. He's just a big baby. He's very tired. Because the weather was so nice yesterday, we were running back and forth a lot yesterday in my parents' backyard. Because I don't have a fenced-in backyard. So, like, yeah, I walk them every day. 4 to 5 times a day. But they don't really get to, like, run a boot. I mean, they do get zoomies, but it's not the same, you know? And my parents have, like, a long backyard, so they just... I have to do... Oh, my God, don't tell them about my taxes. Do whatever you need to do. I do. I want to keep playing. Oh, here. Let me check to see. Will it give me hours? Oh, it just says 2 days. Yeah. Yeah, it just says April 16th. So, thank you. Leon's mouth. Sorry. Didn't mean to choke. Yeah, no time. Interesting. Huh. What challenge do I need to do still? Probably all killer, eh? Yep. Oh, I need to do one more quest. You guys want to play a killer game? I was promised a Ghostface game. I'm not changing the build. I'm just gonna do whatever build is there. Oh, it's an End Fury build. I just looked. Alright, last game. You guys are so lucky I like you guys. Oh, did I take the is it off right now? Shut up. Dankos, I'll put it on so you can give me your channel. I'm just joking. I'll do it for free. I'll do it for free. Just because I like you guys. Murder time. I am one challenge away from getting the rest of the unlocks for the Blood Moon event. What's up, Japs? Dankos. Don't you dare. Oy, Chamoy. This is gonna be so bad. I'm so bad at killer. I hate Ghostface. I'm just gonna pout. Do you guys mind if I just pout the entire time? Just, like, kick rocks or something? But, Chaps, happy Monday. I get... I wish there was a way that we could just, like, delete people's channel points. I think the mods would get too powerful with that, though. A monster? Would you have to be going to sleep anytime soon? Get out of here. You know what? I actually have to start saving some of these screenshots. I keep forgetting them. Oh, look at the big yacht! Oh my god! These are so cute! Thank you so much. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to start posing for these. No? Well, check a monster. If you don't gotta be up at a specific time. No trouble! Oh, ew, I got my stupid little silly ghost face. Oh. Alright. Let's play this video game. How do I play it? Okay, stock is M2. Okay. Well, that was they're really lucky. Oh, yes! By the way, I need you guys to know I was holding shift that entire time. So if you guys want to know how to go faster as killer, hold shift. I had to do a minimum of 2 hours because of the gunner segment, and then I started stream an hour early because I wanted to make sure that I like had somewhat of a stream today, right? You're so sweet. You guys are so sweet. Oh, someone went this way. Hello, lovely. But this is LG. This is LG. To be full pixel. Yeah. Oh, did I not kick that gen all the way? I don't think I kicked that gen all the way, did I? Eh? Let's try again. Okay. I definitely kicked it this time. Yeah. Oh, they had full heals. Nice. Nice. And I got my last challenge. Oh my god. You guys have to listen to this. If I have to listen to this, you have to listen to this.
Pick super chaos, 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 pick super chaos,
I have to
pick
listen to this, you have
super
to listen to
chaos, pick super 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 chaos.
I'm gonna 99 her.
Chaos, pick super chaos, pick super chaos, pick
Okay,
super
that was like
chaos,
85.
Pick super chaos, 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 pick
Power struggle.
super chaos, pick super chaos, pick super chaos, pick super chaos.
I got my challenge. I'm very happy with how this is working out.
Pick super chaos, pick
Very happy.
super
I got my
chaos,
challenge. I'm happy.
Pick super chaos, pick super chaos.
Oh, I forgot that the people on the hook can stalk me or whatever. Benny! Thank you very much. What was that? They're 37 monthlies? What the fudge? Freya! Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy, Benny. Mwah. Thank you for the forehead kissy. Oh. Well, well, well. What have we here? Oh, I'm so gonna go for the one that's going for the hook, right? Obviously. Me! Tunnel time! Listen, that Yui could have taken a hit for her very easily. And listen, I needed that because I'm streaming and that's my handicap. I'm still coping. Oh, they have the boon over here. Yep, there it is. Shadow step. Shadow clown step, more like. Whoa! Oh! Oh, Freya! Big ol' hugs to you. Unless you don't want the hug. Then you can double and give to the next person, but you're gonna get a hug. They need to start dropping some pallets. You guys mind? You guys have to start dropping some pallets. Thank you! Alright. Now... Can you drop one more pallet? Just one more. Just one more pallet. It'll be so fun. Watch, 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 watch. It'll be really funny if you just drop a pallet. Whatever. You want the hug? Thanks. It's actually nice for someone to be excited we're here. What do you mean? Wait, that I think it's great that you guys are here, or that you guys are excited to be here? Either way. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited that you guys are here, and I'm happy that you guys are excited to be here. Alright, I need someone to drop a pallet in my face. You guys mind? It'll be really funny. You guys will love it. It'll be really funny. Wait, Sable. You see that pallet? Yeah, drop it on me. Drop it, right here. It'll be really funny. Wait. Do it. Drop it. Damn it! God, these guys are the worst! I got scared, sorry. Selfish people won't drop pallets on me. Ah. Oh, maybe she will. Go right here. Drop it. Oh, come on, please, please, please. It'll be so funny. I don't want her to pre-drop it. That's my thing. I really don't want her to... Damn it! God, they don't know I have Spear Fury. They don't know I have it. But yeah, here they are. Saving their pallets. Here we go. Drop it on me. Right on me. Sable, you have to. Yes! Oh, I missed. Oh, damn, I'm so stupid. Fudge. Oh, damn it. Oh my god, I'm getting nervous because she has hubris and I'm gonna miss this. I mess it up, Jen! I mess it up! I mess it up! Yes! Ah! Yes! I'm so happy. I was like 1 second away from losing my hubris too. Oh my god. That's all I wanted. That's literally all I want. I'm so happy. Ooh, perk value. Oh, thank you, Sable. I really needed that. Now I can end the stream. I'm so happy. Oh. Yeah, thank you, Big Stickos. That is so funny. Oh, back to Hook. Oh, I just need a Jacob. Jacob's the only one that's not Death Hook. Hopefully it's the Jacob that unhooked you. Oops. There you go. I'll let the Sable live. I'll let her live. Ooh, that was good. 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 Alright, so she's dead. 2 gens left. Okay. We know Sable was near-ish. What is right perk? That's Spirit Fury. Bottom right is Spirit Fury, bottom is Enduring, top is Brutal Strength, left is Hubris. Oh, my stomach just growled really loud. I imagine they're back. Oh, I was gonna say back there. Well, then I guess I'm gonna go and find you. She booned again! And that's her silly little... Oh. Hello? Was that somebody? Or was that? She did the Shadow Step boon. I hate Shadow Step so much. Both the Survivor and his Killer. I think it's so cheap. Cheap! That's right. I'll go back to this gen. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So now I just need one more. Oh! That's strange and unusual, right? Perfect. So now he's Hubris for like 10 more seconds. By 10, I mean like 2 more seconds. He's not Death Hook though, so that's unfortunate. Willie! Willie, mwah. Think of the forehead kissy. So he's not Death Hook. I could still get a 2K. Alright. Let's go back over here. I think I could still get a 2K, maybe. Oh, here we go. Now we know they both are here. I'm gonna try to cut off the Sable from getting the save. Yep, here she is. Cool. So I'm definitely gonna kill the Sable. I could slug for the 4K right here. I think I will. Nice, gonna take a hit for her. Perfect. So she's dead. Sable could get up. Especially if it's like a super boon. Mira! Mira! Think of the forehead, because everyone tell Mira how hot and tall and talented and handsome she is. Everyone go give her lots of lovies. I hear him too. Oh, no way! I wanted to go this way because I knew I heard him here. That's so good. And the Shadow Step is here too, so I have no clue where they are. Because of the Shadow Step and head on. Damn, that was really good. You know they're like creaming their panties right now over that. God, you know they're creaming their panties right now. As they should, though. That was really good. That was really nice. But I literally went this way because I had heard him and I wanted to hook closer to where he was. I just didn't know he was in locker. So her Shadow Step is going to be gone, which will be great. Ooh, can I get snuff points, though, before she dies? Yippee. Hello, love. Goodbye, love. Do you guys wanna get a selfie? Not bad. Alright, you guys gotta smile. Are you guys ready? I blinked! But GG's. Not too shabby, right? Not too shabby. GG's. Oh, it was just Shadow Step. Wasn't even Super Boon. GG's. But it was a Boon Gen perk build. Nice. Oh, he's creaming his panties over that. Oh, wow. They really said do gens. Yeah. GG's. I was promised a second Ghostface game. Push your luck. No, go ahead. Okay, but I haven't played Killer and I haven't played Ghostface in like 25 years. So I probably just got like, you know, a nice lobby. Prestige 8. Yuck. Yucky. Oh, I have so many more challenges I need to do, guys. Wait, did I get... Wait, hold on. Did I get the Blood Moon? Oh, I did! Okay, so I got... I did unlock everything. No, you're so good, Tangos. That was really funny, though. So I have officially unlocked everything. Yep. Oh, wrong button. But there are more challenges that are like, okay, that's nice, but I don't need to do them because I got the unlockables, right? What's the Rift Pass looking like? Oh! I finished it! Okay. Yep. That's exciting. Oh, my stomach crawled again, sorry. 14 days left of the Rift. Okay. Well, I will call it there then. I want to keep streaming, and that's what sucks, is I want to keep streaming. But there's so much I have to do. And I would have gotten more done, too, if it wasn't for those rascally kids. But my internet got shut off for a couple hours. Or it was shut off, I don't know. I don't know if it was on purpose or an accident, but self-care. Ugh. If you call taxes self-care. Let's find someone to raid, eh? What the credit? Oh, I know who you could raid! Oh, I absolutely know who we can raid. Alright. We're gonna raid Mandy! Mandy's awesome. And she's currently in a Michael Myers game. Yippee! I had to do TurboTax tonight. Please pay for me. That's what I'm gonna do! Oh my god. I didn't realize I had audio on her stream up, and I got scared that there was voices in my head. I was like, who's talking to me? But high five. I had to do TurboTax as well. Alright, we're gonna raid Mandy. Mandy. Thank you guys so much for being here and hanging out with me. No! We'll see you guys on Wednesday. I'll be here Wednesday. Hopefully I don't cancel. I hope I don't. Because I want to do a giveaway for a DBD thing that they sent me. But Dweeb, thank you so much for the 55 stream streak. Oh, and Loki, thank you, guys. Tell the mods how hot and tall and talented they are for everything that they do in-stream and off-stream. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves. Get some food. Get some bevs. Get some blackberries. I'm actually going to bring that. Remember to bring this upstairs with me. And, yeah, tell the mods how hot and tall and talented and handsome they are. Don't forget to follow me socials. My Twitter, YouTube, etc. TikTok. I was like, Instagram. Like, what else do I have? Oh, Asia, boy. Ugh. Well, I hope you guys have the best night ever. Thank you guys so much for being here. All the raids, the follows, the luckies, the turkeys, the subbies, the lobies, the titties, the pitties. Have the best night ever. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Bye-bye!
Now go on, before I change my mind.